Drone motherships and autonomous warfare. Could this be the future of defence?
A major inquiry is calling for sweeping education reforms after finding white working-class pupils are still amongst the lowest achievers.
Congratulations are in order for the Princess of Wales, who has conquered the gruelling Three Peaks Challenge, raising money for the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity as she embraces life beyond her cancer diagnosis.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills.
Britain's top legal body says the age of criminal responsibility should rise from 10 to 14. So, is it time for the law to change?
And sport this morning, well, first the Prime Minister, then the Scotland manager, and now England cricket captain Ben Stokes has decided to step down. Emma Raducanu has pulled out of Wimbledon, and the World Cup continues this evening.
Hello there, good morning. A much fresher day ahead, certainly not feeling quite as hot or as humid as last week, but still some sunshine in the forecast. Stay tuned and I'll have all the details.
It's just gone 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast.
It's quite nice to see Princess Catherine on a Three Peaks Challenge. And
she's amazing.
Doing well and all the rest of it and being inspirational. I like that.
She's on the front page of many of the papers today and she looks brilliant.
It's really
Three
tough.
Peaks is hard, yeah.
It'd be tough for anyone.
One
let alone,
peak, half a peak.
Yeah, let alone 2 years after a cancer diagnosis. Good on her.
Yeah.
She loves the outdoors, doesn't she? She loves nature.
Yeah. Anyway,
And she is fit.
we will be talking about that in a little bit, about 10 minutes or so. Anyway, let's start off with Andy Burnham, should we? Going to be lots of talk about Andy Burnham in the coming weeks, because in just a few hours, he's going to set out his vision for Britain. It's his first major speech since launching his bid for Labour leadership. He's
expected to outline plans to give regional mayors more control over social housing, welfare and post-16 education.
Well, he'll argue that he needs about a decade to overhaul Britain and is expected to propose moving parts of the Downing Street operation to the north.
Well, this comes amid speculation over who could become Chancellor in an Andy Burnham government, with Pat McFadden, Ed Miliband and Wes Streeting amongst the names being floated around.
All right, should we talk to Christo Foufas, who's bound to have a view and an opinion on all of this? Morning, Christo.
Morning.
A 10-year plan.
10-year plan for a man that isn't even Prime Minister yet, who will not likely become Prime Minister after any kind of, display of democracy. I mean, imagine democracy in a democracy, but apparently that's a fantasy nowadays, and now he's asking for 10 years. The arrogance of this really irritates me because, as I said, he's laying out all of these plans. Devolution being the one he's mooted to be talking about today. And there's one part of that devolution plan which I think is really important, and the Mail are talking about this today. This could include tax-raising powers for mayors, as well as greater control over business rates and income tax generated locally. Now, what does that mean? Well, if he doesn't have an election, he's very much hemmed in by the 24 manifesto. No taxes on working people, apparently, even though we've had many so far, so I'm not sure why they're worrying about the 2024 manifesto now. They haven't until this point, but let's presume they are. Well, this could be quite a savvy move. Oh, I'm giving it to the mayors. If the mayors put your taxes up, it's not me doing it, it's your London, your mayors around the UK. And let's not forget, here in London, where we have our own mayor, the mayor's section of council tax has gone up every single year since Sadiq Khan has become London mayor. So any idea that we're going to have lower taxes as a result of Andy Burnham is for the birds. There's also talk as well of some sort of property tax. Now, not only have we got Rachel Reeves's property tax coming in next year, 2027 April, this £2 million threshold on houses that will pay an extra council tax charge. There's also now talk of council tax being reformed so that it is a a proportion of the value of your home. What does that mean? Well, if you live in a home that you may have a huge mortgage on, that you paid more for because you're in the south of England, your bill will be higher. They're talking about capping it initially, but I wonder how long that will last.
But I guess part of the argument for that will be, well, it's going to encourage more people to move to different parts of the country and not just congregate in the south. So you get that sort of national equity.
Well, look, moving house is generally a good thing for the economy because it means that people buy things, people, go and get the kitchens fitted, all of these sorts of things. But I think that if it's going to be a tax that is higher for people, moving house also costs a lot of money. And if you've bought somewhere and you've got a huge mortgage, I would have more respect for a policy like this if it was on the equity in your home. But if you own a home that you've got a mortgage of 90% on, why is it fair you're being charged 100% of a proportion of tax on an asset you only actually own, say, 10% of, because the rest is all a mortgage? So it is all this chip away to try and get more tax. It doesn't look like, a lot of the newspapers reporting today, that it doesn't look like he's going to try and stray from the mistakes that has been reported Starmer has made about tax and spend. If anything, he wants to maybe go a little bit further, but then that leads back to the question, what about an election? Because how much can he change what is in the 2024 manifesto? And of course, he has agreed to stick to Rachel Reeves's fiscal rules. Can't describe what they are, of course, but he has agreed to them.
Well, talking about an election, can we speak about this poll that was out in the weekend?
Yes.
Which put an Andy Burnham government above reform.
Yes, 27% for a Burnham government. Now, of course, every Prime Minister has brilliant ratings before they're Prime Minister. So 27% for an Andy Burnham Labour, 26% for Reform, 19% for the Conservatives. So pretty decent turnout for the Conservatives, but obviously Labour jumping for joy about this. We've got to say, the caveat is it's in the weekend, which is probably a little more left-leaning than some of the other newspapers, but they will be very closely watching this. But, of course, that 27% is not probably enough to get enough seats to have a majority. So it's OK reading. People are calling it the Burnham bounce. I think it's more of a Burnham bump, really, because I don't think it's a huge bounce. But it does call into question whether they'll look at this and think, actually, before we do all of this spending, which is going to make it harder, and bearing in mind our interest on our government debt last month was £12 billion. If they're going to spend more, maybe we do a snap election when his popularity is at the highest before he's done anything that's unpopular and tries to secure his own majority.
But this is why, and it feels like it will be the most significant appointment to number 11 that we've seen for a very, very long time, because whoever goes into number 11, that is going to very, very clearly dictate the economic policies he wants to pursue, isn't it? I mean, if you put Ed Miliband in there, there's a very clear message. But actually, Wes Streeting or Pat McFadden surely would be something that would calm the markets. It would perhaps indicate something a bit more fiscally sensible. And
there was a bump, negative bump to the pound when Andy Burnham won in Makerfield, because, of course, the markets remember him saying we won't be in hock to the bond markets. Interesting story on this today as well. One of his top advisors is in the newspaper today. He wrote this is a guy called Neil Lawson, wrote a piece last year saying that economic growth was like a cancer on society, because growth is not a good thing and we shouldn't really be worrying about economic growth. This is an advisor to Andy Burnham last year. So you're quite right. The team around him are going to set the direction. Wes Streeting, slightly more on the right of the party. I even saw over the weekend it was reported Shabana Mahmood might be moved there. It wouldn't then be a demotion from the Home Office and it would calm the right of the party. If it's Ed Miliband, well, we're going even more crazy net zero, aren't we? And that's going to cost even more money.
OK, Christo Foufas, we'll see you in the next hour.
Well, if I'm not too depressed by that point.
You may have self-combusted by that point, Christo.
Thanks, Christo. Right,
let's have a look at Catherine, Princess of Wales, should we? She has completed the Three Peaks Challenge, raising money for a cancer charity and becoming the first member of the royal family to complete the feat. Have a look at this.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills. But more importantly, it's to give something back and acknowledge really all the incredible work going on up and down this country. I've met some incredible people, those people who are living with and beyond cancer. And I know personally how difficult that journey is. And I really wanted to use this opportunity as my way of contributing to all the wonderful work that's going on. And in particular, to support the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity, an organisation very dear to me, but who do extraordinary work supporting those living with and beyond the disease.
Well, at the completion of the challenge, the Princess of Wales was met by her family, including the Prince of Wales and her 3 children.
Lovely. All right, let's talk to former Royal Butler, Grant Harold. Grant, honestly, that little video there just seemed to say it all to me, because it was clearly all just off the cuff, not a prepared speech. She just came across as someone who really cares about what she does.
She does, and I mean, she's remarkable because, as you said, it was just suddenly announced last night that she'd done this. And not that I'm a huge expert in this, but it's quite a challenge. I actually know somebody that did it recently. I mean, I think you've got to walk about 23, 24 miles. You're climbing about up to, is it 9,000 feet? You're travelling over 500 miles. It's 3 highest peaks in the UK, Scotland, England, and Wales. I mean, it's a remarkable achievement. I was even trying to see if any other royals done anything quite like it. And of course, members of the royal family go through different military training, but this is quite extraordinary. I believe she's the first to achieve something like this. So considering what she's gone through and publicly shared it and now done this amazing challenge, it just shows you her inner determination and strength and why she's so good at what she does.
And she's so remarkable from a fitness perspective as well, isn't she, Grant? I mean, this would be a big challenge for normal people, but she has beaten cancer in the past 2 years. It's extraordinary.
She has, and she's also extremely fit. I mean, if I can say, I remember many, many, many years ago, before she was a member of the royal family, she was a very keen runner. And quite often, you know, when I used to go into work at Highgrove in the morning, you know, at 7 in the morning, she would already be out running. She'd be out for a run. And from what I understand, she still goes for her runs. So she's a very, very fit, very athletic. That's why I was equally shocked when she did get the cancer, because she's one of the fittest, can I say one of the fittest royals that I know. So, but again, it's fantastic that she's turning, you know, because so many people are affected by this, so many people struggle with this, and she's now such a fantastic ambassador, spokesperson. And you know, even my own mother sadly had cancer and died from cancer. And, you know, kind of seeing what the encouragement and support that she gives people that are going through cancer, that are surviving cancer, that are fighting cancer, is extraordinary. It's fantastic.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That she does all of this. Other people may have it as all the attention on them. She immediately turns the attention back round onto everybody else, which is remarkable.
She does. She does, and this is what she's so good at. I mean, of course, what's also extraordinary about this, we've had royals, can I say, over the decades that support different charities and causes, and they, of course, they do the research, so they know about it. But this is a royal that's lived through it, living through it, that's actually experienced it, and just like the king. And you know, this is why they're so good at not only being able to talk about it and to discuss it. And do you know, I once said, and it's probably a strange thing to say, I remember the Queen Mother famously said that during the Second World War that she was able to put people in London in the eyes after the palace got bombed because they knew what it was like. This is another extraordinary feat where this is somebody that's gone through this horrendous disease. She's fought it, she's bet it, she's and she's now shown the rest of the world, you know, you can survive it, you can live, you can go on living with it. And again, being able to talk to people about it and give them encouragement and support. She's the best person for this.
Oh, Grant, really good to see you this morning. Thank you so much.
Likewise, thank you.
And
yeah.
Matching yellow as well.
Oh, yeah, you got the memo.
You got the memo.
There's just, every time you see her, she just comes across as right. Do you know what I mean?
It's like
kind and compassionate.
Yeah, she can't put a foot wrong, can she? She's just wonderful. She really is. We're very lucky to have her, I think.
I think we are. We are. Right, it's coming up to 6:15, so time for the Daily Reflection.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Are you struggling with a sense of shame? Something perhaps you did recently or a long time ago that just weighs heavily on your shoulders? My name is the Reverend Pat Allerton and I'm a vicar in the Church of England. And you know, one man who knew that sense of shame but received forgiveness and freedom from it was the Apostle Peter, St. Peter. He was one of Jesus' closest friends, and yet when Jesus was arrested and taken off to the house of the high priest, Peter followed at a distance. But then he was seemingly recognized in the courtyard of the high priest. But when challenged, he denied it 3 times, saying, "I don't know the man, I am not that man, I don't know anything about this." When he denied Jesus for the 3rd time, we read that the cock crowed, as Jesus prophesied it would, and Jesus looked across and saw and caught eyes with Peter. We can only imagine the sense of shame that Peter felt in that moment, having denied his Lord, his Master, his friend, and he fled from the scene. Well, a few days later, after Jesus' death and resurrection, we read of Peter saying to the other disciples, "I'm going fishing." Perhaps he still carried that sense of shame and guilt and thought, my life as an apostle, as a leader in the church is over. I'm going back to my old life. But it took the risen Jesus Christ appearing to him, having breakfast on the beach with him, and then taking him for a walk to restore him back to the calling he had in Christ. Jesus asked him 3 times, "Peter, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?" Peter was able to affirm again 3 times, "Lord, you know that I love you." And Jesus restored him. He forgave him. He took away that sense of shame that Peter carried. And he can do the same for you and me today.
And that's our daily reflection for this Monday morning. It's a good way to start the week, isn't it?
I think it is, especially with Pat. Good man. Now, it's 17 minutes past 6, and the Royal Navy is reportedly ditching plans for a new generation of destroyers in favour of drone command ships in one of the government's biggest defence shake-ups. At least 6 new common combat vessels will operate alongside crude warships and autonomous systems, as ministers say it will strengthen Britain's response to Russian threats.
Children's mental health services in England are in crisis, with more than 1 million young people affected in a single year. Around 1 in 10 children are referred for, waiting for or receiving treatment, with demand almost doubling since 2018. The top reason for referral is anxiety.
And fish and chips getting pricier across the UK. Haddock and chips now just over a tenner, apparently. Cod and chips, £11. A new report says there are 7,200 chippies nationwide, but owners are under pressure from, guess what, rising costs.
That's making me hungry, that is.
I'm not surprised. You can't beat a decent portion of chip shop chips.
Oh, I know. You can't create them at home. They have to be chip shop chips.
They do. I don't know why they're different, but they just are.
I think they're just
Whatever
deep fat
you
fried,
do.
aren't they? And they're so good. What'd your order be? Because you're veggie.
Yeah, it would be... I'd go for chips and mushy peas.
Oh, yum.
And there you go.
Scampi for me.
Ah, is
Got
it?
to be. Yeah.
Not a battered sausage.
Not a bad sausage. Scampi. Or haddock. Anyway, let's know what you think. gbnews.com/you'll say. It is about £11 where I am, though.
Yeah. It does cost, but
It is expensive.
Frankly, worth
Worth
it.
it.
Yeah, there you go. Right, it was a lot cooler this morning driving in.
It's very nice, actually.
It's a bit of a relief. Let's see what the rest of the day's got in store with Honor.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of dry weather today, feeling warm, certainly not quite as humid as it did last week, and there will be some showers on the cards. These mostly in the northwest, particularly across western areas of Scotland, though any showers should become quite well scattered by the afternoon, so hopefully some bright, if not sunny spells in between. We can see across the bulk of the country it should be mostly dry, a mix of cloud and also some brighter spells. Mostly light winds as well, so where we do see any sunshine it should feel rather warm and pleasant, highs reaching around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius, but like I said, not quite as humid as the last few days. Now, to finish off the day across Scotland, there'll still be quite a decent amount of cloud around, still some lingering showers across the south, perhaps the best of the brightness across the very far north of Scotland. But notice behind me there is some rain on its way, some heavy, if not thundery showers initially across Northern Ireland, pushing their way northeastwards. But actually elsewhere across England and Wales, it should be quite a dry end to the day, plenty of clear skies. Gradually turning more and more unsettled through the overnight period, however. These heavy showers will continue to push their way northeastwards before longer spells of rain start to push into parts of the northwest. Now, this could be rather heavy at times, if not quite thundery, some quite blustery winds as well. Even to the south where we don't see any rain, there's going to be quite a lot of cloud around and potentially some showers. Still quite a mild night, temperatures not dropping much below 16 to 17 degrees Celsius in the southeast. But Tuesday itself does look like a rather unsettled day. Spells of rain continuing in the northwest, still heavy and thundery at times. Then we do have this band of heavy showers eventually pushing into northwest England, Wales and parts of the southwest as well. These too could also be heavy with the odd rumble of thunder. The best of the brightness will be across central and southeast England. This is where we'll see the highest of the temperatures as well. Highs reaching between 23 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, children's mental health crisis. It's revealed that over 1 million young people are referred to mental health services every single year. The Children's Commissioner is going to join us live later on this morning to tell us all about it.
First, though, social media travel scams are on the rise. A third of holidaymakers are now affected. We'll get some tips on how to stay safe in a moment.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/your say. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/your say, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
It's 6:25 and a third of holidaymakers have seen a rise in travel scams, mainly on social media. A few emails, I guess, as well. The new figures show it's really increased over the last few years.
Well, experts are urging travellers to use trusted sites and avoid bank transfers when booking via social media, as most people say they are wary of emails.
Well, let's talk to travel correspondent for The Telegraph, Simon Calder. Simon, good morning to you. In a way, it's back down to the good old message, isn't it? People you trust, go to the travel agents, go to the high street for this sort of thing.
Absolutely right, Stephen. Yes, because of course, any travel purchase is an act of faith. You put up hundreds or thousands of pounds up front, but you only actually take delivery when you turn up at the airport and hope that your trip is going ahead. And that, of course, makes travel a favourite target for scammers, and social media allows them to really run riot. It's a wild west out there. Basically, they can contact people on email, they can use various social media platforms, and of course, when times are tight and you're short of cash, if you suddenly get an apparent bargain Mediterranean holiday or a flight to Los Angeles at far, far lower prices than you can see elsewhere, well, that could well be somebody about to steal your hard-earned dream as well as your money. And it's certainly well worth going and talking to a real human travel agent to find out whether indeed there is a flight available at that price or whether it's just a scam. There's a lot to be said for talking to trusted travel professionals.
And Simon, what would your advice be for people that are choosing to book online, like so many people decide to do now? What other ways can people protect themselves from fraud?
There's one really straightforward way, and that is simply to pay with a credit card. That means that if it turns out that the person you're paying has no intention or is unable to supply the trip that you think you've booked, you will simply be able to contact your card provider and say, "Oi, I'd like my money back, please." However, if somebody says to you, "Oh, can you please pay with a bank transfer?" be very afraid. Now, there are some circumstances when that will be an appropriate thing to do, but otherwise it could just be like handing someone you've never met before a big bag of your hard-earned cash. Once you've told your bank to make a transfer of your money, then that's the last you've seen of it. So lots and lots of due diligence. There's plenty of other ways that scammers are going to get you as well. For instance, when you're going to the US or to Australia or Canada, you will need an online permit. And if you just tap, for instance, US Esther into a search engine, you'll probably find there's a couple of sponsored results. These are companies which have nothing to do with the US government, but which are simply trying to charge you 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as the official rate without actually adding any value.
Yeah. Got to be so careful, haven't you? Look, while we've got you, Simon, we were talking last week about how bad the rails were because of all the heat and everything. Because it's cooler now, how quickly are things getting back on track?
OK, well, the trains actually are not looking too bad. Clearly, the tragedy 10 days ago in Bedford means that line is still very much not back to working fully. That's the line from Sheffield, Nottingham, Leicester down to London. However, the big problem this weekend, Stephen, has just been the terrible storms. And actually, there are still many thousands of passengers stranded out of position. Particularly Saturday was awful, and people just woke up yesterday where they didn't intend to be, and many of them, I'm sorry to say, including some of your viewers right now, are still wondering where their holiday went or when they're going to get home.
OK. Simon, good to see you as always. Thank you very much for joining us on GB News Breakfast.
Right, well, if you are travelling today, but to work or school, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the Erskine Bridge, the A898 southbound is restricted by a broken down vehicle. On the M25 clockwise between junctions 27 and 28, a vehicle fire has closed 3 lanes, causing 20-minute delays. In North Lincolnshire, the A160 eastbound is closed between the A180 and A177 due to a serious collision. Normal conditions are expected later this afternoon. And on the trains, Grand Central is disrupted between Newark Northgate and Grantham, with Great Western Railway running a reduced service between Truro and Falmouth Docks. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Now, still to come, Paul has all your sports.
Yeah, Ben Stokes has stepped down as England captain. Yesterday was all maybe a little self-indulgent, a lot of people are saying. But anyway, we'll talk about it in just a second.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, Late Edition.
Alex Armstrong Tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to
stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Right, Paul Coyte's here at 6:30 for another shock resignation.
I know, another one. I know. Everybody's quitting left, right and centre, aren't they?
Not another one.
There's another one. Ben Stokes yesterday. Now, this is. I don't know how I feel about this. I said self-indulgent because it kind of felt a little bit like that. Because Ben Stokes, OK, we know what happened, don't we, when we were saying a couple of weeks ago after the Lord's test, and then he went out drinking, and then he was left out of the second test, and then was back again as captain. Now, halfway through the fourth day against New Zealand yesterday. Now, why would you do it at this time? Final test against New Zealand, and then all of us, about 3:25 it was, there was the announcement that he is going to retire from international cricket. Now, would you wait until the end of the match?
He's trying to make a point, isn't he? Clearly.
I think you're right. because that's it. Because he was bowling at the time, and then as the announcement happened, amazingly, I mean, this is true Ben Stokes fashion, took a wicket straight away. Whole crowd goes crazy. Then he comes back out to bat, whereas he would normally bat around number 7. He opens, so he doesn't usually open. Now, they need to score a lot of runs, but that was almost another thing. And then there was the guard of honour. So if he'd have quit after the match, it would have just like, oh, yeah, well, Ben Stokes has quit. But this is maximum attention.
Yeah.
Now, is this bad? Is it right? Is it OK? Does it really matter? But the thing is, he did make the announcement to the rest of the England side, and that was yesterday morning, and they heard first. And this is from the ECB. Have a look at this.
There's something that I know is going to happen over the next 2 days, which is going to be, this is my last 2 days as your captain, and my last 2 days as representing England.
So there he is talking to the players, and then it wasn't announced until a few hours later.
We've just had a view in. Agreeing with you, saying what Stokes did yesterday was indeed self-indulgent. He should not have opened the batting or bowled so much to the detriment of his side. It should not have been all about him. That's from Peter.
See, he went out and in true Bazball fashion and just hitting the ball all over the place, very swashbuckly, whereas really they need to score a lot of runs. He got 30 from 20 balls, and then he got out, and now England are in all sorts of trouble. So, 2 schools of thought. You know, he's a great player, but I think we'll hear more exactly why he's decided to stand down probably over the next 2 weeks or so.
There'll be more to that story.
So, Right, World Cup.
Oh, yes, please.
I'd like to revise my prediction.
OK.
Your face.
It better not be... You're still thinking England to win, right?
No, clearly not.
Quitey, for goodness sake, you
OK,
full of hope.
I won't.
What?
I won't revise it then.
What were you going to say?
No, go on.
I'm a little concerned. I was really, really, really hopeful and expecting that England would win the World Cup, and now I'm not so sure.
Doubting Thomas.
I could be a doubting Thomas. I don't know. I'm just not overly convinced by what I've seen. Can you talk me round?
Yes.
Maybe it's just a little wobble I'm having.
Did you watch the first game?
I did. I saw
the fire.
Yeah.
The second game.
Did you watch the second game and the third game?
Well, the third game was all right. The third game was all right after
it was
the
okay.
minute.
The score was okay.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit concerned. Maybe, OK, I'll stick with it, but I'm a little concerned. That's all I'm going to say.
OK.
Is that OK, then?
I think there's still time.
OK, fine. OK, well, thanks for making me speak sense again. Canada beat South Africa, so Canada are the first team through to the last 16, 92nd minute. Next, they're going to play either the Netherlands or Morocco. So tonight, we've got Brazil versus Japan. I think there could be a little surprise there. I think Japan, I've got a funny feeling about Japan, I do. 6 p.m. tonight, Germany against Paraguay at 9:30. I think Germany will squeeze through that. And then the Netherlands versus Morocco is at 2 a.m, and that's tonight. So that's what we've got in the World Cup.
When are England up again? Wednesday, 5 o'clock.
Wednesday against Congo. And by the way, you know our friend from Congo, my favourite supporter, Lumumba Vey?
Oh, yeah, the statue.
The statue guy. Let's just have a look at this. This is what England will be up against. Look at the crowd around, and there he is. And how intimidating for the England players to see that yellow jacket.
And he stands like that, like a statue, for the whole 90 minutes.
He does. What do you reckon aches? Is it the arm?
The arm's got to hurt.
More than anything else?
You must have a support in the jacket.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Because those, when you get those statues, you get these people that are statues, and then they've got all bars and support and everything. So maybe that's what he's got, or maybe it's just a natural if he starts getting shaking. But anyway, Wimbledon, by the way, starts today. More about that very shortly. The queue it opened at 2 p.m. yesterday. So there are people queuing up, and especially in the heat. I don't think the heat's going to be. It's not going to be quite so hot.
Imagine being in a tent in that weather.
I know, really. And
we've got pictures of the queue.
There we are. This is not live, by the way. 500 people will get tickets for centre court number 1 and number 2, and then there's ground tickets. But people queue up. They get woken up, I think, 6:30.
Yeah.
And then they've got to pack away. You've done that, haven't you?
Done it twice, yes.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I've had 2, but it's been really good weather when I've done it.
Was it a bit whiffy?
Not from us, but yeah.
But everybody else.
We had a lovely
We
time.
were all right, but God, blimey, don't ask sneak elsewhere.
We ordered pizzas to the tent. We had rosé and little sippy cups. We had a lovely time.
See, that's great. And that's a true British tradition. There's a lot of people that go, oh, we shouldn't have to queue these days. These days you should be able to do everything
No, we do
online.
it
But
best.
no,
We do it
it's
best.
always the way to do it because we queue. And that's what we do.
John says, Coyote, you wonder why Tottenham finished fourth from the bottom with that positivity.
Yeah, OK.
Why are you calling you Coyote?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Guy says England definitely have to up their game. Sorry, that's
Right.
it.
Yes, right. We've got to move on because our good people want to win.
Oh, yes, of course.
Is this the new
No,
giveaway?
I'm so sorry. You two haven't seen this, so let me introduce you. We
All
brought
right,
this
you
in
go.
over the weekend, right?
Oh, nice.
Okay.
£60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar.
Wow!
Worth more than £5,000. Here's how you take part.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like this year. What would you do with that? And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. It's pure gold to own, trade or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. So make sure you don't miss your chance to bank over £65,000 worth of prizes in our Golden Summer celebration. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Oh, that's a great prize. I'd love a gold bar.
You would.
We can't enter though, unfortunately, but you can, so best of luck.
Right, lots coming up for you, including the papers, of course, with Dawn Neeson and Chris Akabusi. Sit down, Dawn. For heaven's sake.
And what's that? Oh, I'm not going to ask any questions.
Chaotic. Anyway, see you in a minute.
GB News Breakfast. Every day from 6 a.m.
And it's Father's Day. I don't know if my dad's up yet. If you are, happy Father's Day.
He's already texted.
Is he?
He's tuning in.
Mr. Reaper, good morning to you.
Sunday, well, speaking of Sunday lunches, he'll be having a roast pork joint later, courtesy of myself.
Good.
Cards and gifts are a big part of the day, of course, but it's also important to remember that there is more to it than that.
Yeah, because it's not just about one day, is it? Actually, it's like, what do dads do? And healthy fathers, a healthy sort of father-son, father-daughter relationship builds strong families, builds strong communities and helps build a strong country, actually.
Well, that is why mentoring the next generation matters more than ever. So take a little extra time today. Make sure you do, to appreciate not just the fathers or the grandfathers or the uncles out there, but any strong father figure that you may have.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast. Every day from 6 a.m.
Welcome back to Breakfast, 25 minutes past 6. And breaking news this morning, the TV presenter Jeremy Clarkson has revealed that he's been diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer in an emotional video.
In the scenes, he's telling his co-stars Caleb Cooper and Charlie Ireland, his land agent and his farm manager, and they're both devastated, as you can imagine. You know, it's a huge bombshell to drop on them. He's only 66. He's made no secrets that he's maybe not lived the healthiest lifestyle. After the heart problems, he bemoans having to eat Greek yogurt and kale and whatnot. But following this, I think he's going to have a complete lifestyle overhaul even further, and just fingers crossed the treatment proves effective.
GB News, the People's Channel. Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
Hello there, Emily and Tom. Yes, some breaking news in the last few moments from Kensington Palace regarding our future king, Prince George of Wales, the oldest son of the Prince and Princess of Wales. The short statement from Kensington Palace reads, Kensington Palace can confirm that Prince George will attend Eton College in September. That news just coming in from the royal household in the last few moments. This clearly is, well, perhaps not surprising news for those in royal circles. Eton College, the most prestigious school, arguably in the country, educating 20 prime ministers and, of course, Prince George's own father and uncle, Prince William and Prince Harry, as well as 2 Dukes of Gloucester, the Duke of Kent and Prince Michael of Kent as well. So that confirmation just coming in from Kensington Palace, £63,000 a year it costs to send a child to Eton College.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers in the company of Chris Akabusi and Dawn Neeson this morning. What a way to start the week. Morning, you two. Morning. Dawn, let's start with you. The front page of the Daily Mail this morning. Tax raids on middle classes in Burnham's 10-year plan.
Well, there's a shocker. Andy Burnham's going to tax the middle classes, especially if they happen to live in London and the South East. Yes, this is the bloke that was elected by 25,000p to be in Makerfield, who is now some sort of cult. The cult of eyelashes and T-shirts. I don't get it.
Why is everyone having a go at his eyelashes?
He's got lovely eyelashes, but surely we want a Prime Minister who's more than eyelashes and a T-shirt.
Well, it might be.
Well, we're hoping to find out a bit more today, aren't we, Dawn?
Well, hopefully, yes. I mean, I just honestly feel like I've been robbed by this. I just think this is not democracy. Any case, he's going to be our new Prime Minister on the 20th of July, if all goes to plan. And he's giving this speech today where he's announcing his mission statement, and it plans to send more money to the north, devolution, we learned that at the weekend. He plans to base himself more in Manchester for obvious reason. But the plans I think that will concern most people this morning is the fact that the tax plans he's setting out are suggesting that once again there would be some kind of housing tax on properties that are worth more, which will affect London and the South East disproportionately to the north. And obviously there is this big debate about who's moving into number 11, with the favourite so far being Ed Miliband. I mean, just shoot.
It's the favourite, but
yeah, if you look
everything
at the
I've heard is that actually Ed Miliband isn't the favourite.
Look at the bookies' odds at the moment. Yeah, it swings around on a minute-by-minute basis.
The unions don't want Ed Miliband. The markets don't want Ed Miliband.
No. So who would you see then as?
Well, either Wes Streeting or Pat McFadden.
Well, I mean, the idea was Wes Streeting had cut a deal in order not to.
That makes the most sense, doesn't it? Because why would he not go for a leadership contest?
Or maybe because he thinks he can't win anyway and he'd prefer to get back into the government and have a position at the table. I mean, my concern is this King of the North coming down, taking over at Whitehall, and then Robin Hood throwing all the money up north, when the north-south divide is a little bit of a misnomer in as much as you can have Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds with lots of money, and you can have parts of Essex and Kent, Cornwall and Devon with no money. So it's very easy to pretend that all the poverty is one side. Now, London, yes, I get home counties, yes, I get it, although we've got our pockets of deprivation there too. But this is what bothers me a little bit about the King of the North doing a Robin Hood type of thing, coming down and chucking it back over the wall.
It's interesting because the big majority that Labour have is actually going against them now, because you've got Labour MPs in the South going, well, hold on a minute, how is this going to play out with our constituents? The fact that you seem to be favouring the North, which obviously Andy Burnham is going to do. But now Labour MPs in the South, many of them newly elected, are going, well, we're going to lose our jobs because we won't get elected because you seem to be favouring the North over the South again.
I'm torn on this because the South, as a Northerner, the South has always seemed to be the favoured part of the country, so I'm a bit.
It generates the most wealth.
Yeah, but if you put more resources up north, then the north will start generating more wealth.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing is at the moment that, you know, according to the National Office of Statistics, people in London pay £24,000 in tax on average, but get back only £19,000, where in the north they pay £12,000 in taxes, but get back £17,000. So you're actually getting more.
People are earning more in the south.
Yeah, but you're actually getting more spend on the north already. This is we shouldn't be having this debate. In any case, it shouldn't be about North versus South.
No,
it should actually be about a United Kingdom.
Yes, United Kingdom, yeah, and that's it. It's a United Kingdom. You are going to have distribution of wealth, etc., and you want to have that cohesive alliance that we've come to rely on. I think I'm actually going to be quite interested in hearing how he speaks, what he speaks about, whether he's got a real strategic plan. I noticed, as you already highlighted, he's got 2 years of his current administration, but he's talking about 10 years. I can see, you can say there's a little bit of hubris, but on the other hand, it would be refreshing if someone came in with a long-term thinking, a long-term plan.
But how radical is it going to be? Because if it is that radical, we're talking about massive devolution, we're talking about giving so much power to regional mayors. That hasn't been voted for by anybody.
No,
he's going to have to call a general election.
He doesn't have a mandate.
If it's that radical.
If he diverts from what Keir Starmer's actually doing, he doesn't have a mandate for any of it, then he's going to have to call a snap general election. And if he does that, the chances are we're going to end up with a hung parliament.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, maybe the things like devolution, that's something he says, in my next term, if you so give it to me, this is what I will do. However, in the meantime, I'm going to tackle the question about we raise less in taxes than we give away, for example, or when I say give away, what I mean is spend on welfare.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. If he's laying out what he's going to do if he wins the next election, that's a very good point. Can we have a look at the Daily Mail? Because the age of criminal responsibility, lawyers are backing Labour's plan to raise it from 10 to 14. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this one.
Well, Dawn and I straight away, we thought of the Bolger case.
Yeah.
And obviously these young people knew exactly what they were doing, planned it, executed it to horrific extents. So for me, in my mind was, well, why are lawyers who are sort of supposed to be one of the brightest group in our country, why are they entertaining this? And the three reasons they give is that young people who are criminalised at 10, 12, are funneled into a further life of crime. So all of a sudden they get experience in prison. And also, a lot of them in this demographic have got neurological and learning disabilities that are not taken into account. And then the third one is that there is a confirmation bias around black ethnic and children in care, which mitigates against thinking clearly about what's going on. But that said, then the papers come, it's in the Daily Mail, there's a 3 or 4 horrific examples of young people who've actually premeditated and killed people.
But does that mean you should use those very small number of cases to affect everybody else?
That's it. The exception doesn't prove the rule. So you can understand, initially it's like, really? But when you get into the weeds, you see there is this thought about the young person criminalise them too early.
Dawn, let's have a look, shall we, at the Daily Mail. The real deal, why women make better negotiators.
Shall we, Ellie?
Yes,
Let's do that. Right, brace yourselves, Stephen and Chris. OK, the next time you're haggling over anything, people out there...
Snag us into submission.
I can beat you in submission if you prefer.
I can say that. I don't care.
The next time you're haggling over a new car, trying to knock a few thousand off a house price, let your wife take the lead. This is a new study suggesting women are just as effective at men at striking a deal, but far better at building trust and communicating, Ellie. I think we can both agree on this one. This is a new...
you two can agree on it. Me and Chris have to.
No one asked your opinion, be quiet. This is according to the National Academy of Sciences, and it contradicts that greater likeability comes at a cost and challenges the stereotype that men are better negotiators. I'm taking it, sorry.
Is it though? I would question whether some of it, and I'm not saying women don't get better deals, perhaps they do, but is that because the men they're negotiating with think, oh, I've got to be nicer at some moment?
They underestimate women, I think, a lot of the time, but you use that to your advantage.
There is that male-female dynamic. I mean, many sales forces now are replete with women at the top of their sales force. They're making a better deal, so there's something there.
Yeah. Well, the 2 women at the church fair yesterday managed to flog me a massive number of raffle tickets.
Well, there you go. See, I mean, case point.
Women have got the power. Thanks, you two. Here's your weather.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of dry weather today, feeling warm, certainly not quite as humid as it did last week. And there will be some showers on the cards. These mostly in the northwest, particularly across western areas of Scotland, though any showers should become quite well scattered by the afternoon, so hopefully some bright, if not sunny spells in between. We can see across the bulk of the country it should be mostly dry, a mix of cloud and also some brighter spells. Mostly light winds as well, so where we do see any sunshine it should feel rather warm and pleasant, highs reaching around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius, but like I said, not quite as humid as the last few days. Now, to finish off the day across Scotland, there'll still be quite a decent amount of cloud around, still some lingering showers across the south, perhaps the best of the brightness across the very far north of Scotland. But notice behind me there is some rain on its way, some heavy, if not thundery showers initially across Northern Ireland, pushing their way northeastwards. But actually elsewhere across England and Wales, it should be quite a dry end to the day, plenty of clear skies. Gradually turning more and more unsettled through the overnight period, however. These heavy showers will continue to push their way northeastwards before longer spells of rain start to push into parts of the northwest. Now, this could be rather heavy at times, if not quite thundery, some quite blustery winds as well. Even to the south where we don't see any rain, there's going to be quite a lot of cloud around and potentially some showers. Still quite a mild night, temperatures not dropping much below 16 to 17 degrees Celsius in the southeast. But Tuesday itself does look like a rather unsettled day. Spells of rain continuing in the northwest, still heavy and thundery at times. Then we do have this band of heavy showers eventually pushing into northwest England, Wales and parts of the southwest as well. These too could also be heavy with the odd rumble of thunder. The best of the brightness will be across central and southeast England. This is where we'll see the highest of the temperatures as well. Highs reaching between 23 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Traffic on the M25 clockwise between junctions 27 and 28 is disrupted due to a vehicle fire, closing 3 lanes. The M1 northbound exit at junction 21A in Leicestershire is closed after a vehicle crossed the central reservation, expected to clear between 9:30 and 9:45. The A19 southbound entry in Stockton-on-Tees is closed after a collision, expected to clear by 7:35. In West Sussex, a broken-down vehicle on the A23 northbound blocks a lane, clearing by 7:15. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast runs a reduced service. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific 2-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash. And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people, and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I ever got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Andy Burnham will set out a 10-year plan for Britain today.
Yes, he's going to lay out these plans to spread Number 10's operations up north and promise good growth for every postcode.
So, could the Prime Minister in waiting transform the economy and convince voters that there's no need for another election?
Elsewhere today, Britain's next generation of destroyers could be scrapped in favour of drone motherships and autonomous warfare. Could this be the future of defence?
Major inquiry is calling for sweeping education reforms after finding white working-class pupils are still amongst the lowest achievers.
Congratulations are in order for the Princess of Wales, who's conquered the gruelling Three Peaks Challenge, raising money for the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity as she embraces life beyond her own diagnosis.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills.
Britain's top legal body says the age of criminal responsibility should rise from 10 to 14. We're asking, is it time to change the law?
And sport this morning, first the Prime Minister, then the Scotland manager, and now England cricket captain Ben Stokes steps down in quite a whirlwind. Canada become the first country to the World Cup last 16 after beating South Africa in injury time. And Wimbledon starts today, but without Emma Raducanu.
Hello there, good morning. A much fresher day ahead, certainly not feeling quite as hot or as humid as last week, but still some sunshine in the forecast. Stay tuned and I'll have all the details.
It's just gone 7 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast.
Have you got some fun stuff?
I did just see a view, but I've now lost it, saying we were talking about fish and chips, weren't we, in the 6 o'clock hour?
Oh, yeah.
And how they're set to get more expensive. Somebody's been in touch. I think they said they were from Grimsby. Yeah. And you can still get a portion of fish and chips up there for £3.50.
£3.50? What's the fish?
She said you've read that right.
Was it goldfish? What is it?
I've lost it.
But Grimsby's a big port, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but for that, for £3.50.
So £3.50.
About 12 quid.
So you can still get a bargain.
Yeah.
Wow. It's
In
worth
some parts of the
driving
country.
to Grimsby to get fish and
To
chips
get
and then
that.
driving back again.
Yeah,
for that sort of price.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
They'd be
That's
about
very
£11, didn't we? What would you pay for a fish and chip supper?
It's about 12, 13
Yeah.
quid. Yeah.
Worth it though, I think.
Yeah, you can't beat a fish and chip supper.
If that is you, get in touch.
If you can beat £3.50, gbnews.com/yoursay, let us know and we'll all head up.
Yeah.
Although, I did go to a fish and chip shop at the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And the proprietor was a fan of GB News. And I said, oh, lovely. I thought I was going to get free. And he said, oh, you do you want a bottle of water? I'll give you a bottle of water for free. And really, I'm thinking, what about the fish and chips?
Yeah,
But I got a bottle of water. I'll take it. It was a nice gesture.
Very nice.
But, you know, free chips would have been nice.
You wanted a free dinner.
Yeah. No such thing as a free
No
dinner,
such
is there?
thing.
No.
Hey, they've all got to make the money at the minute. Can't afford to give it all away. I don't blame him.
Yeah. Making me hungry anyway.
Right, in a matter of hours, Andy Burnham's going to set out his vision for Britain in his first major speech since launching his bid for the Labour leadership. It feels like he's Prime Minister already, doesn't it?
It does a bit. It's a strange time that we're living in. He's expected to outline plans to give regional mayors more control over social housing, welfare and post-16 education.
Well, he will argue he needs a decade to overhaul Britain and is expected to propose moving parts of the Downing Street operation to the north.
Well, all of this comes amid speculation over who could become the right-hand man or woman to Andy Burnham in the government as Chancellor. Will it be Pat McFadden, Ed Miliband or Wes Streeting? Just some of the names being floated.
Christo Fufas is here. Morning, Christo.
Morning.
I was quite intrigued by what Chris Akabusi was saying in our paper review at the end of the last hour, because you said an hour ago, well, it's sort of a great amount of hubris and maybe arrogance to say, well, let's set out a 10-year plan. Chris was saying, well, what if he sort of is going to outline in his speech, if I'm elected at the next general election, then I'll start the things like devolution, all these big plans, just keep us going for the next couple of years, and then announce the big plans if he wins the next election.
So, I mean, it's a bit of a poor choice, isn't it? Either the dreadfulness we've had of the last couple of years continuing in limbo, and we don't get any changes till 2 years' time, or we get them now without a manifesto that he's been elected on to deliver them. Either way, I feel like the voting public are losing out. And I think this is the fundamental flaw, in my opinion, with his plan, because, of course, the Labour manifesto did mention devolution in 2024, but it was quite vague, the devolution that they talked about. It was nowhere near on the scale in which is being predicted to be in his speech today. By putting this devolution at the heart of what is happening next, and also making sure that those devolved areas have control over making sure people come off benefits. Now, I can't quite see the connection as to, I can't work out whether this is spin to sell us this devolution by saying, look, we're going to try and reduce this benefits bill, and let's not forget it's due to hit 400 billion a year by the end of this decade, or whether there is actually any strength to this. It's the report from Alan Milburn he's going to be looking at, saying that there needs to be a stronger role for mayors and local authorities to help young people get off benefits, and that support has to happen locally through things like social housing being built, through things like local authorities trying to make apprenticeships happening, all of those sorts of things. Well, I don't know whether we're adding just so much more admin here, but also every time I've looked at areas that are devolved, and I don't know whether you've noticed this, but it just seems to end up being a blame game. So you end up with the devolved area saying, well, we couldn't do that because we didn't have the stuff from central government, and central government saying, well, actually, that's down to Sadiq Khan, or that's down to what's happening in Wales. It's nothing to do with us. The NHS being terribly in Wales, nothing to do with us. So it ends up being that no one then takes accountability for what is happening. And of course, I will return to the central point on this. How much can he get away with these plans without having a general election?
Well, on that point, do you predict that he will go for an early general election in order to try and get a fresh mandate for what we can only assume now is going to be radical change that he's proposing?
Well, they've got 400 MPs at the moment. They've got this massive majority. It's not like they've really stuck to the manifesto that they had back in 2024 anyway. But over the weekend, Steve Reed, the housing minister, was on GB News, and he was questioned about whether there will be a general election.
I saw a poll this week that shows that over 2/3 of the public do not want a general election. They want us to get on and govern, and that is what we're going to do. The election will come within 3 years. Then the public can have a say. But right now, Camilla, I don't know whether your audience are different, but over 2/3 of the public, according to this opinion poll, do not want a general election now. They want us to get on with an orderly transition to a new Prime Minister and speed up delivering change.
The irony with that is it's that the idea that they base having a general election on whether the public want one or not. I mean, that's never been the case. They have a general election when they think they've got most chance of winning one.
Do you know what just sticks in my craw the most is the number of these Labour MPs that when they were in opposition who were desperate for an election when there was a change of Prime Minister by the Conservatives, and now saying, oh, well, look, we don't want there to be instability. We're doing you a favour, don't you know, by us not having an election. Now, the issue that we face with this devolution as well, aside from how much it was in the manifesto, is, of course, it's about trying to reduce the benefits bill, as I said, get younger people into work, all of these sorts of things. Well, it's about getting younger people off benefits, but, of course, when it comes to the benefits bill, they're saying, look, it's not about trying to slash this, because the last time they tried even moderate changes to the benefits bill, it doesn't get through. So he's on a tightrope here between having his backbenchers not smelling the blood they did with Starmer and not being able to get something through, so therefore he becomes a bit of a powerless PM, but also knowing that the benefits bill has got to come down because it can't continue to spiral.
Well, except, I mean, we're going to be talking to the Children's Commissioner later on this morning, because there's a new report out. She's saying it's a crisis. There's more than 1 million children in England referred for, awaiting or getting treatment for mental health services. That's 1 in 10.
Yeah.
That's 10% of children in the UK. And not all of it, but a lot of it is down to anxiety. Now, these are children who are currently being lined up to hit 16, 17, 18 and get on benefits. Which is crazy.
It is absolutely crazy because I have, in my life, and I've spoken about it so many times, but I've had my ups and downs, and I've had times in my life where I've been, really at a low ebb. But you never feel worse when you get off your backside and go to work. And when the stakes are high enough that you've got to do that, although it might feel like the worst thing in the world, getting yourself dressed, getting out the house is the best thing for you. But what we're trying to do, we're no longer teaching younger people the tools for resilience and realising, look at the way in which the weather's been handled the last couple of days. I mean, I'm not surprised a young person reads the newspaper and thinks they're going to die within 5 minutes because of the fact that we say to them, oh, everything's dreadful, the world is burning. I'm not surprised they're anxious. What we should be doing is giving them tools in which they could actually get over this stuff. Plus, actually, what Andy Burnham could do is make it easier for some of these employers to employ some of these young people by not having a huge national insurance hike, not saddling them with a huge minimum wage increase, and actually then let the market have young people go back to work, rather than increasing taxes and then using those taxes in order to incentivise younger people to get back to work. To me, none of this makes sense.
OK. Christo, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, joining us now is CEO of the Comparateur Group and former advisor to UK Trade Secretary Shankar Singham. Really good to see you this morning. So looking ahead to the speech that we're going to hear from Andy Burnham, what do you think his plans would mean for Britain?
So, I mean, what I'd like to hear from Andy Burnham is going back to what Keir Starmer said at the beginning of his administration, which was that economic growth was the most important priority, and by that he meant wealth creation, and then actually doing some things that would actually generate economic growth and wealth creation. I think the Starmer rhetoric was good on growth, but the delivery, the policies that came behind that were all policies that actually damaged the economy and destroyed growth. So, whether it's failing to do planning reform properly, whether it's not attending to the incredibly high energy cost in the UK, continuing to put more and more regulation, environmental regulation, etc., energy regulation that made costs of everything more and more expensive, or the Employment Rights Bill. The labour market in the UK is famously said to be flexible. It's not actually flexible compared to some other countries. And the Employment Rights Bill makes it far less flexible than, as your previous guest said, the minimum wage has gone up. It's the highest in the OECD. There are many things that the Starmer administration did that were very anti-growth. So if Burnham wants to actually generate some growth in the UK, he needs to go back to those things. And if we don't hear about that in this speech, if all we hear is more devolution by itself doesn't actually do anything for economic growth. It depends what those powers that are devolved, the people with those powers, what they do. And the track record of that in Wales and in Scotland, and to some extent in Northern Ireland, is not good on economic growth. In fact, their policies seem to be even worse than the central government with regard to growth. So devolution is not going to solve this problem. What's going to solve this problem is dealing with the regulatory barriers that exist in the UK, and lowering the cost of energy, this type of thing. So if we don't hear that.
Right, but the problem that you've got with that, and in a way it's some of the arguments that the opposition parties use when they say, well, it's not about the man at the top, it's about the party as a whole, is that to do that, he's basically got to walk in and get rid of the Chancellor, get rid of the Energy Secretary, and basically undo everything they've done over the last 2 years.
Well, if you want to grow the economy, you cannot do that with the Employment Rights Bill. Already, employers are taking action because of the removal of the cap on industrial tribunals. to eliminate some of their more senior staff. So this is going to have a very catastrophic effect on business. So, when you're heading over a cliff, you need to stop and turn around and do what is necessary to get the economy back on track, if that's indeed what he wants to do. And it's going to be difficult for him because, when they tried to do welfare reform, which is the other side of the equation, you've got to get the costs down, you've got to get the spending down. His MPs didn't allow him to do that. Now, it may be that Burnham, with a different bit of a honeymoon period, they haven't got Starmer to kick around anymore, as Nixon famously said. Maybe they will be a little bit more compliant on some of these proposals. I mean, he has got advisors in there, Andy Haldane and Sir Jim O'Neill, who have talked about, limiting, getting rid of some of the burdensome regulation and so forth, and lowering the tax base. So we'll have to see if those voices are in the ascendant or not. And I would say to Andy Burnham, if you look at New Zealand in the 1980s, which was in a crisis, much as the UK is in now, or if you look at Australia in the 1990s, which was also in a crisis, it was actually two Labour governments that did the necessary, lowering tax, cutting regulation, doing all the things that typically you assume that a right-wing party would do. But it was the governments of Roger Douglas and Paul Keating that did those things. So it's not impossible for a Labour Party to do these things. And right now, that is what you need to do to actually give opportunities to people at the bottom end of the socioeconomic ladder. So that's what I think I would like to see from him. Whether we will get that or not is another question.
You mentioned the importance of lowering the cost of energy. As part of Mr Burnham's mission, what we're expecting him to talk about today is the reform of essential utilities, which is understood to mean greater state control of the likes of water and energy companies. Would that bring down the cost of our bills, do you think?
No, I mean, this is again the same problem, which is the diagnosis of the problem, which is very easy to do. When you've got an energy cost that's 5 times the energy cost of the US, it's easy to say that energy is too expensive in the UK. But the solution is not to put even more state control on the energy companies, even less competition. It's competition that drives down price. If you nationalize everything, then prices will go up and services will go down. That's just what happens when there is no competition. Now, was the privatization originally in the water or the electricity industry done perfectly? No, and we could actually do it better. We should be trying to improve it. And in fact, Andy Burnham only has to look at the recommendations of the UK's own Competition and Markets Authority on energy, on rail, on transportation, and do what they recommended, which is not nationalising these things. It is actually introducing more competition, and we will find that that the prices go down. But there's a lot of energy regulation, environmental regulation that is driving these prices up. And on the one hand, they say they want to promote growth. On the other hand, they want to get closer to the EU's regulatory system, which is the cause of many of the burdens that we see. So, if you want to do these things, you have to diverge from European regulation in these areas. And if we see more of this conversation about alignment to EU regulation, joining the internal market, these sorts of things, Western Europe is doing as badly as the UK in terms of its overall economic growth trajectory, and losing ground dramatically with the US, as the European football fans in America in the World Cup are actually seeing now.
OK. Shankar Singham, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks very much indeed.
Now, 18 minutes past 7, let's take a look at some other stories coming into the newsroom this morning.
Well, the Royal Navy reportedly ditching plans for a new generation of destroyers in favour of drone command ships in one of the government's biggest defence shake-ups in years. At least 6 new common combat vessels will operate alongside crude warships and autonomous systems. Ministers say it will strengthen Britain's response to Russian threats.
Millions of households will face higher energy bills from Wednesday, with the average annual bill rising by more than £200. Ofgem's latest price cap means a typical gas and electricity customer will now pay around £1,860 a year, with analysts expecting prices to remain steady until October.
The government spending watchdog is urging ministers not to rush revise plans for HS2 after years of delays and soaring costs. A new report says the high-speed rail project should only move forward once there's confidence it can actually be delivered.
And fish and chips are getting pricier across the UK, with a portion of haddock and chips now costing just over £10 and cod and chips topping £11. A new report says there are around 7,200 chippies nationwide, but owners are now under pressure from rising costs.
All right, let's have a look at the weather for you today with Honor.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of dry weather today, feeling warm, certainly not quite as humid as it did last week, and there will be some showers on the cards. These mostly in the northwest, particularly across western areas of Scotland, though any showers should become quite well scattered by the afternoon, so hopefully some bright, if not sunny spells in between. We can see across the bulk of the country it should be mostly dry, a mix of cloud and also some brighter spells. Mostly light winds as well, so where we do see any sunshine it should feel rather warm and pleasant, highs reaching around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius, but like I said, not quite as humid as the last few days. Now, to finish off the day across Scotland, there'll still be quite a decent amount of cloud around, still some lingering showers across the south, perhaps the best of the brightness across the very far north of Scotland. But notice behind me there is some rain on its way, some heavy, if not thundery showers initially across Northern Ireland, pushing their way northeastwards. But actually elsewhere across England and Wales, it should be quite a dry end to the day, plenty of clear skies. Gradually turning more and more unsettled through the overnight period, however. These heavy showers will continue to push their way northeastwards before longer spells of rain start to push into parts of the northwest. Now this could be rather heavy at times, if not quite thundery, some quite blustery winds as well. Even to the south where we don't see any rain, there's going to be quite a lot of cloud around and potentially some showers. Still quite a mild night, temperatures not dropping much below 16 to 17 degrees Celsius in the southeast. But Tuesday itself does look like a rather unsettled day. Spells of rain continuing in the northwest, still heavy and thundery at times. Then we do have this band of heavy showers eventually pushing into northwest England, Wales and parts of the southwest as well. These too could also be heavy with the odd rumble of thunder. The best of the brightness will be across central and southeast England. This is where we'll see the highest of the temperatures as well, highs reaching between 23 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, should the age of criminal responsibility be raised from 10 to 14 years old? We're going to be debating that in just a moment.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Brave.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is
denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Politics, policy, Parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel. Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question. Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
25 minutes past 7, and the Bar Council for England and Wales is urging the government to raise the age of criminal responsibility from 10 to 14. Now, that's in line with UN recommendations.
Well, the chair of the Bar Council argued that criminalisation at such an early age is an ineffective response and will funnel children towards further crime.
Campaigners, though, they point to cases of James Bulger, for example, who was abducted and murdered back in 1993 by John Venables and Robert Thompson. Now, they were just 10 at the time.
Well, joining us to debate this morning is political commentator Matthew Stadlen and Thames Valley Police and Crime Commissioner Matthew Barber. Very good morning to you both. Matthew Barber, let's start with you. Do you think the criminal responsibility age is too low as it is?
No, I don't. I think with all of these arbitrary age limits, there will be examples where we say this child is particularly sort of incapable of understanding what they're doing. But you get that with people at any age. We have to have an arbitrary limit at some point within our system. This is something we talked about with our children at dinner last night, knowing that I was going to come on. Our youngest daughter is 12. She would fall in this age bracket where she is currently criminally responsible and would no longer be. Her view was very firmly that the age should stay as it is. I think at 10 years old, most children do know the difference between right and wrong. That's the thing that really matters about that. And if we don't think that children should know the difference between right and wrong at the age of 10, I think, frankly, we're doing them all a bit of a disservice as a society. We see a trend in the criminal justice system, an understandable one perhaps, that focuses on the perpetrator. There is an awful lot of attention in our system that goes into looking at child perpetrators. And don't get me wrong, I want to stop those children reoffending again. Of course we all do. We want to give children that second chance because most cases will never be, thankfully, as serious as the awful murder of Jamie Bulger. But we nevertheless have plenty of provision in our system for non-custodial routes. The idea of sending young children to prison is an absolutely tiny proportion of all those, which is identified by the Bar Council themselves. But this is about setting those expectations. And what we sometimes forget, some of those agencies involved with managing youth offenders in our system, is we should be focused on the victims. That when someone is in the criminal justice system for something that they have done, of course we want to stop them reoffending, and of course we want to make sure that if they're a child, they're properly looked after during those years of childhood while they're in the criminal justice system. But we can't forget there's a victim of that crime, and it's only fair that we deliver justice regardless of the age of the perpetrator.
Matthew Stadlen, there is it's a fair point, isn't it, to say if a child can understand the difference between right and wrong, then there can be some criminal liability, can't there?
Well, I hear what the other Matthew says, and this is an emotive issue, and everyone at home will have their own view on this. But the Bar Council, the Law Commission, the Children's Commissioner in this country all back the United Nations in saying that this should be raised to 14. We are hopelessly out of sync with the rest of Europe. We are an outlier in this. Scotland has raised the age of criminal responsibility in recent years to 12. And I think we should have the humility to look at our neighbours and say, well, why are we criminalising children at the age of 10? Just think about that. Many viewers will have 9-year-old children turning 10 at some point later this year. Is your 10-year-old to be really capable of going into some sort of custodial sentence? I think we should really think carefully about this. The government said it will consider the findings of this report, but that any findings need to be treated incredibly carefully, and rightly so. But the idea of criminalising 10-year-olds, to me, just doesn't seem right. I would maybe compromise, and I would raise it to 12, where Scotland have already reached.
Matthew, do you think that we need to do what Scotland has done and raise the age of criminal responsibility? Does it concern you that we do appear to be an outlier?
Well, I think the fact that the other Matthew points out is that these are all arbitrary ages, aren't they? And so you have to draw that line somewhere. The example of a 9-year-old turning 10, are they suddenly responsible? Well, in the new world that the Bar Council would like to see, does a 13-year-old suddenly become more responsible on their 14th birthday? If you look at the Bar Council report themselves, they identify that amongst those first-timers going into the criminal justice system between the ages of 10 and 14, firstly, the numbers are incredibly small in and of themselves. We're talking about low hundreds here. And in the year, I think it was to March 2025, only one individual was actually given a custodial sentence. The Bar Council discussed themselves in their report. There may well still be the need for some individuals to be detained, potentially to protect other people. And they talk about using mental health courts and family courts. So what I'm not clear from the Bar Council report is what is the problem that they are trying to remove here, other than something that's perhaps a little bit of virtue signalling and this looks nice because it brings us into line with other people. They seem to be accepting in their report there could be circumstances where you do actually need to detain someone under the age of 14. They just talk about doing it through a different route. The numbers we're talking about are incredibly small, and there are already loads of opportunities for the police and the courts to impose some sanctions, often at a very low level, because for most children we're talking about that sort of low-level antisocial behaviour, the very low-level offending, which needs correcting at an early age. And I think there's a real risk that if we send the message that, frankly, if you do something that if you did it at school, you would be punished, but if you do it out of school, we're saying you don't have any responsibility anymore.
But there's a difference between understanding, having a sense of right and wrong, and of course children are punished at school, actually taking criminal responsibility and having that on your record for the rest of your life in some shape or other. And the Bar Council has looked at the science which suggests that the brain develops in a way that means that when you're 10 years old, you just should not be being held criminally responsible. There are ways, short of convicting someone at that age, of protecting the public.
OK. Matthew Stadlen, Matthew Barber, thank you both very much indeed. I mean, the problem is, with all of this, there's probably no way of quantifying, because they're talking about the fact it can go on to further criminalise children who then end up in the system. That's what the Bar Council is saying. Yeah. There's no way of quantifying how many children who've been convicted under the age of 14 who have then gone to become more criminal as a result of that conviction. This is what, you know, it's the great unknown with all of this sort of thing. Yeah. You've got a view on that, gbnews.com/your say. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And as both Matthews said, it's a very delicate area.
David says if 10-year-olds commit a crime, they have to pay the time. Alan says, with regard to raising the age of criminal responsibility, it follows the usual trend of ignoring the victim. The focus has to be on the victim. And Christabel says, children know right from wrong. It's only through good parenting and the environments that they are brought up in. It's the parents that always need looking at. You cannot just blame a child. Parents should take responsibility.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that, I think. Anyway, keep thoughts coming through. We've got the sport in a moment. Paul, what have you got?
It doesn't look like England are going to get anywhere against New Zealand. That looks like that's all over this morning. But Wimbledon begins today, and we'll discuss very shortly.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Drivers should be cautious on the A87 Skye Bridge due to high winds affecting vehicle stability. The M4 eastbound faces significant congestion between junctions 28 and 24, causing delays. A collision on the M62 eastbound in East Riding has closed 2 lanes, with traffic expected to resume by 8:30 a.m. A vehicle fire on the M25 clockwise has shut 3 lanes, causing a 20-minute delay. On the A23 northbound in West Sussex, 1 lane remains closed due to a broken down vehicle. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Welcome back. It's Sports Time. Paul Coates with us. Morning.
Still not sure how I feel about Ben Stokes and this retirement in the middle of a match.
There's
I'm not really sure. Well, Paul Newman from The Athletic's going to join us, cricket correspondent for The Athletic. So he always makes sense of this. So we'll have him on in about an hour's time. So basically, England are losing against New Zealand. Ben Stokes went into bat and he opened, and that's not what he usually does. And this was all straight after the fact he'd announced his retirement from international cricket. And I don't know, it just...
He's trying to make a point.
I think you're right. That's exactly what it is. He's trying to make a point because if it had been done after the match...
Has he been sacked?
Well...
Basically, has he been sacked and they're giving him a way out?
I think it's a bit of both because Rob Key never said, who's the head of the ECB, and he'd said after the whole drink, I say scandal, I mean it was hardly a scandal, but the fact he was out after the curfew and he shouldn't have been, and it's just what England didn't need at the time. He was dropped from the second test and it was said, oh well, is he going to continue? And nobody really said anything. So whether there's a little compromise here and they said, well look, why don't you announce your retirement after the match, and maybe Ben Stokes has decided this will be on my terms. Because that's the sort of guy he is. He wants to do it on his terms. So maybe that's what's gone on. But we'll hear a little bit more in about an hour's time. So exactly what went on. World Cup, Canada beat South Africa yesterday. That was 1-0, 92nd minute. So tonight we have...
92nd minute?
92nd minute.
Blooming heck.
I know, South Africans. That's a painful one, isn't it? Right at the end of the match. It's 0-0. They're right at the very end.
Pipped at the post.
I know, and the fact that I had to wait up. Couldn't they have scored earlier? Yeah, stayed up and watched it.
Good for you.
Yeah, well, it's bad for me, really. That's
bad for you
the problem.
this morning.
Bad for all of us. Brazil versus Japan, 6 p.m. That's going to be a great game to watch. I've just got a funny feeling about Japan. I do. Germany versus Paraguay at 9:30. Netherlands versus Morocco at 2 a.m. I can give that a swerve. A little bit too late for me, but it should be a very good game.
Yeah.
Wimbledon
starts today.
So Emma's out.
Oh, I know.
This is the earliest Emma Raducanu has been knocked out before the tournament's even started.
To be fair,
it's a new one for her.
She's got a fracture, hasn't she?
Well, yes, it was a scam because she was seen in that protective boot. Do you remember when I said that on Friday? So it turned out there was a stress fracture. She put on Instagram, I can't believe I'm saying this, but sadly I can. Sadly, I've had to withdraw from this year's Wimbledon. That's 2 out of the last 4 she's missed. Oh. Serena Williams, by the way, will be playing. She plays tomorrow. 44 she is now.
And she wins it, you know.
She's playing in the singles. She's 44.
She's looking great.
40.
She's what?
She's looking great.
Oh.
What do you think she said?
I've just misheard.
I think she's looking great.
She is looking fabulous.
I'm going deaf in the all day. Pay no attention to me.
23 Grand Slams, 7-time win. How do you think she would feel, though? I mean, if she goes into Wimbledon, how do you think she would feel to go in and play?
Delighted.
Delighted? Nervous?
No, I don't think she's a nervous type.
No,
you don't think so?
No. I think she's delighted to be back.
I imagine she'd be a little nervous.
No.
Let's hear from what Serena Williams has to say.
Not then.
We haven't got Serena Williams. She's nervous, I can tell you that. Right.
Too nervous to come on.
She's there going, no, I can't. 7 times Grand Slam, I can't do it anymore. We got to have a birthdays? We got to have a few?
Quickly.
Right, come on, a few birthdays, sporting birthdays. Today, first one, England's Jude Bellingham.
Oh, Jude.
Jude Bellingham. He's 24.
24.
I think he's older than that. 27.
23 today. Oh. Only 23.
Oh, he's only a bubba.
I'll give you one more. Another England player, Abarichi Eza. It's his birthday as well. So as his birthday, how old is he today? They must have cakes in the camp, mustn't they? They must have. 25.
I'm going to go 24 again.
28 is the answer.
28?
28.
Oh,
one more, Nicole Scherzinger. How old is she today?
Oh, OK, she's older than you think.
52.
The big...
Spit it out.
The big 5-0.
48.
Oh.
That's
sorry,
showbiz
Nicole.
age. That's a showbiz age, Nicole, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Oh.
Well, you know, I'm not being bitchy, but, you know, it's just...
I'm 32 then, in that case. Right, Paul, thank you.
I'm 24. I'm really
We'll see you later.
Now, just time to tell you about the new Great British Giveaway, and it's a goodie, 60 grand in tax-free cash and a real gold bar worth over £5,000. You could keep it and it could be worth more in a few years.
It will be.
Who knows?
They say you take part.
It's the Great British Giveaway Golden Summer Celebration. Your chance to win 2 fantastic prizes. There's an incredible £60,000 in tax-free cash that can make your bank account brilliant. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny. Plus, you'll also get your hands on a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. You could give that to your children, your grandchildren, or just invest it for the future. What would you do with it? Just make sure you don't miss your chance to win £60,000 cash and a fine gold bar. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
Right, we've got the papers in a moment. Chris Akabusi and Dawn Neeson are they're having fun with a balloon.
A Union flag balloon and what's Dawn got on her nose? What's that?
I don't know. But we'll find out in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
GB News Breakfast. Every day from 6 a.m.
Became the norm. Friends just became family, and you know, I just kind of found my love in the streets, really.
And then did that then lead to stuff with knives?
Yeah, so I was stabbed by 15, and then my best friend passed away in my arms from a stab to the heart. So I'd already had quite a experience with knife crime at that point.
I think in life it's important to give people a second chance, and especially when you come back and you were using this to such a positive thing, and actually, and you know, your kits already, as you say, have saved several lives, and hopefully it's not even about the saving of lives in that sense, is it? It's if you can prevent people from getting in the situation you were in the first place.
This is where education's important.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Crew of injured and wounded veterans and serving personnel have completed a historic sailing expedition around the UK, carrying the Invictus Games flag.
Yes, it's called the Full Circle Sailing Expedition, and it embarked on a momentous 12-week journey, having sailed 2,000 miles around the UK to complete the whole full circle.
Well, it supported more than 500 injured veterans, and the charity is raising £300,000 to fund their mission to support veterans right across the nation.
Everybody on that boat has a part to play. It's everybody gets involved in safely moving that boat from A to B, and like you said, it's that camaraderie and being a part of a team, and you could say to some extent having that mission.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Come here, is it a love for the royal family, for the kind of the British pageantry? What is it?
You know what? Both of those things. I do have a love for the British royal family. I have been royal watching since I was in the 5th grade. That was a long time ago. I watched Indian Style when Lady Di married then Prince Charles, and now he's the king. And I mean, I just love the parade troops, all of that. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely amazing.
Which royals do you think you're most looking forward to seeing as that procession comes down the mall a little bit later?
King. I want to see the king. I love seeing the king and the queen because I'm of that era, actually. The Prince Charles, now King Charles era. So I always look forward to seeing the king. But of course, the Prince and Princess of Wales.
Well, I think you're going to have a very easy job spotting you in the crowd.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. We're going through the papers in the company of Chris Akabusi and Dawn Neeson. Morning, you two.
Morning. By the way, can I just clear up what was on my nose? It's a tennis ball, because it's Wimbledon.
Yes. On your nose.
Why not? Where would you like me to put it, Stephen?
Oh, nowhere.
There you go.
Well, to me, to you.
40 nil. 40 love. 40 love. Get in.
Very
lovely.
Well, on that note, actually, can we mention the cost of going to Wimbledon? Because it's pricey for people out there. There's a new cocktail we've seen in the Sun today, a new gin-based cocktail, so punters can keep cool on centre court, we're told. How much is it going for, Chris Akabusi?
Is that £12.80 thing?
£12.80.
And is it like a small little 125 millilitre glass?
It's a tiny little.
Oh my God!
Tiny little.
It better be. I mean, and in this weather, you'd knock back. How many of those have you knocked back?
A lot.
I'd say at least 12.
I'm just following.
12.
Just following the recipe here.
Yeah, so it's 100 millilitres of gin.
She'll double it.
Fine, I'm sorted.
Fresh lemon juice, cucumber juice, and elderflower tonic. Sounds nice, to be fair, but yeah, extortionate. But that's not the only thing.
£12.80.
I've just done some boots on the ground journalism to look at the prices at Wimbledon this year. Pint of Stella has gone up. You'd be lucky. £8.95.
Oh my gosh!
Dawn, you're not going to like this. Guess how much a tiny, tiny little bottle of champagne is this year?
Oh, that's going to be...
one of those small ones.
15 quid?
Oh, you'd think so, wouldn't you? No, £31.35.
No,
you're joking.
If you'd like a full-size bottle of champers, you're looking at £102.
Wow.
Guess how much? And a bottle of water, a small one. Guess how much?
12 quid?
£5.
Well, no, I went to TPC Sawgrass and a bottle of water, 500 millilitres, is $12.
I mean, it's all
You win.
crazy.
Mind you, a pint of West Ham's, over £6 now, Chris?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And we're not as posh as Wimbledon, obviously.
No.
No.
Well, no.
No. Don't look at me
There
like
you
that,
go.
Stephen.
No.
Be warned, if you're going to Wimbledon, you need deep pockets.
Can we have a look, Chris, at dodgy shops in the Express?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually quite alarming. I mean, when I was a kid, Oxford Street was the premier shopping street in the United Kingdom, and a lot of the youngsters, not me, would bunk off and go down to Oxford Street, right? Not now,
you? Not you.
me,
No, definitely not me.
not me. I didn't do that bunking off. But now it's full of these dodgy shops. You know, you'll have seen these gift shops and charm shops, etc., etc.
Harry Potter shops, have you seen that one?
Yeah, there we go.
They're the unofficial ones.
And what I didn't realise is that they come, the ownership, they build them up. Within the year, they go out of trading, and we're losing all sorts of taxes through them doing this. And it really is basically backstreet dodgy work that's going on with criminal gangs behind it. And the Express has sent a chap around there who's done a raid on that. The cameraman got manhandled in the process. And, you know, there's £9 million worth of unpaid business rates in 2023 alone. So when you think about that, they're not paying VAT, they're not paying all sorts of things. And if it can happen in Oxford Street, it can happen in any street.
Well, there's a special West End company, I can't think what it's called now, that deals with all the traders in that area. So why are they not getting... I mean, because they must be paying a hefty rent.
Well, no,
those properties.
But they're not. By the time it comes around to paying the rent...
They've gone. They've
scarpered.
Yeah.
They've moved on, yeah.
So why are they not putting decent companies in there?
Well, the decent companies can't afford the rents and the business rates and the national insurance and all of that sort of stuff that most businesses are entitled to do if you want a 3-5 year ledger. But if you only want a 9-month ledger, you can make a whole heap of money and then close it down and then start up down the road.
Yeah.
It's such a tourist attraction as well. So many tourists go there thinking, oh, the famous Oxford Street, let's go to Selfridges, other shops are available, etc., etc. And all they're getting is vape shops and candy shops and dodgy suitcase sales, and it's just like...
It's not good for our international reputation.
No, it really isn't.
And it's meant to be, well, it is, I believe, the busiest shopping street in Europe.
Yeah.
Well, you can also imagine some of the dodgy where that's being sold is not being kite stamped and marked, so you can think of the ramifications of things falling off in toddlers' mouths, etc.
Yeah.
And all of that.
It's not right, is it?
It's not.
Can we have a look at this is in the Telegraph, Dawn. I can't quite get my head around this. The Prime Minister is not flying the England flag for the World Cup.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a misleading story. So the headline is Starmer refuses to fly the flag of England. What he's actually decided to do is not fly the England flag on number 10 during the group stages.
Right.
Other Prime Ministers have, some Prime Ministers haven't. But Sir Keir Starmer has been accused of being a plastic patriot because he just always, whenever he gives a speech now, there's flags in the background, you have to have flags. But for the group games, they've decided not to do it. However, obviously...
Why, though? Because you could fly a Scotland flag on the day Scotland is playing and an England flag on the day England's playing.
That's doing it.
It's
and now that Scotland's out, you fly an England one.
Well, quite, any case. I mean, previous Prime Ministers have, some haven't, to be fair, but now we are through to the knockout stage. Number 10 say they are going to fly the flag, and obviously the knockout stage starts on Wednesday, when we probably get knocked out.
Don't say that.
No.
We're going to win the World Cup, Dawn.
Hello? Chris and I are West Ham fans. We're realists, OK? We know how this works.
First game, that's the
potential. The British Retail Consortium, though, they want to make sure that we're in it so that we can...
Well, absolutely. We're flying the flags, yes, apart from the Prime Minister, obviously, because why would he send the Prime Minister for now?
Chris, this is in the Daily Mail this morning. 1 in 10 pet owners are doing what instead of going to the vet?
Yeah, this is... I mean, I think it's not just pets. I mean, I think we're now consulting AI, ChatGPT, and other are available, as you like to say. So basically, pets owners, as soon as they've got something wrong, rather than going to Dr. Google, they're using AI instead. And they're going up and they're coming up with all sorts of ideas. OK, my pet's OK because AI says it's OK. But, of course, a vet understands much more nuance than your computer will ever understand.
But it might give you a steer as to if you need to go to the vets or not. Because we do it for that. I mean, I've done it with things when I've got because I've hurt my hand at the moment, and it's like, yeah, a little bit, yeah. But you ask, and it'll say, if you think it's bad, it'll say, but you really should see a doctor.
Yeah, no, yeah. Look. It's here to stay. We all do it. We've been using Dr. Google for the last 20 years. AI is just another iteration of that fact. But what they're flagging up is that stuff gets missed because people get consoled by the answer of AI, only to find out that your dog's got a very serious issue.
And vets are very expensive. Many people can't afford to
I
have
don't
animals to
understand
vets.
why you'd use AI in the first instance.
Yeah.
Chris, Dawn, thank you very much. We'll see you in 45 minutes' time.
Yeah, we certainly will. But coming up for you right now, we'll have a look at the weather forecast. A little bit cooler today. Here's Honor.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of dry weather today, feeling warm, certainly not quite as humid as it did last week, and there will be some showers on the cards. These mostly in the northwest, particularly across western areas of Scotland, though any showers should become quite well scattered by the afternoon, so hopefully some bright, if not sunny spells in between. We can see across the bulk of the country it should be mostly dry, a mix of cloud and also some brighter spells. Mostly light winds as well, so where we do see any sunshine it should feel rather warm and pleasant, highs reaching around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius, but like I said, not quite as humid as the last few days. Now, to finish off the day across Scotland, there'll still be quite a decent amount of cloud around, still some lingering showers across the south, perhaps the best of the brightness across the very far north of Scotland. But notice behind me there is some rain on its way, some heavy, if not thundery showers initially across Northern Ireland, pushing their way northeastwards. But actually elsewhere across England and Wales, it should be quite a dry end to the day, plenty of clear skies. Gradually turning more and more unsettled through the overnight period, however. These heavy showers will continue to push their way northeastwards before longer spells of rain start to push into parts of the northwest. Now this could be rather heavy at times, if not quite thundery, some quite blustery winds as well. Even to the south where we don't see any rain, there's going to be quite a lot of cloud around and potentially some showers. Still quite a mild night, temperatures not dropping much below 16 to 17 degrees Celsius in the southeast. But Tuesday itself does look like a rather unsettled day. Spells of rain continuing in the northwest, still heavy and thundery at times. Then we do have this band of heavy showers eventually pushing into northwest England, Wales and parts of the southwest as well. These too could also be heavy with the odd rumble of thunder. The best of the brightness will be across central and southeast England. This is where we'll see the highest of the temperatures as well. Highs reaching between 23 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Drivers on the M4 eastbound face congestion between junction 28 at Tredegar Park and junction 24 at Coldra. Motorists crossing the A87 Skye Bridge should exercise caution due to high winds. In North Lincolnshire, all lanes of the A160 eastbound between junctions with the A180 and the A1077 are closed following a collision. Normal traffic is expected to resume mid-afternoon. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast services are reduced with disruption between Stafford and Crewe and Stoke-on-Trent, mirrored by cross-country delays in the same area. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
It's a great British giveaway Golden Summer Celebration. Your chance to win 2 fantastic prizes. There's an incredible £60,000 in tax-free cash. Plus, you'll also get your hands on a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry starts at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
At the stroke of midnight, the news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
Day in, day out. Forget stuffy late night TV shows. We're giving you a front row ticket to the centre of the political universe.
Because breaking news doesn't wait for the morning.
And neither do we. Join us for one of the most controversial and volatile times of politics in human history.
A very big story.
Big story over here.
You won't get this anywhere else. The Late Show live at midnight, every night.
Only on GB News.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Andy Burnham will set out his 10-year vision for Britain today.
Yes, he's going to lay out his plans to spread Number 10's operations up north and promise good growth for every postcode.
So could the Prime Minister in waiting transform the economy and convince voters that there's really no need for another general election?
Elsewhere today, Britain's next generation of destroyers could be scrapped in favour of drone motherships and autonomous warfare. Could this be the future of defence?
A major inquiry is calling for sweeping education reforms after finding white working-class pupils are still amongst the lowest achievers.
Congratulations are in order for the Princess of Wales, who's conquered the gruelling 3 Peaks Challenge, raising money for the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity as she embraces life beyond her own diagnosis.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills.
And sport this morning, Ben Stokes stepped down as England captain, but is it the right time in the middle of a test? Canada become the first country in the World Cup last 16 after beating South Africa in injury time, and Wimbledon starts today, but without Emma Raducanu.
Hello there, good morning. A much fresher day ahead, certainly not feeling quite as hot or as humid as last week, but still some sunshine in the forecast. Stay tuned and I'll have all the details.
Just gone 8 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast.
Oh, dear me. It's all going very, very well this morning, Paul.
It is
Very
going
well.
terribly well. It's going terribly well.
How are you finding the reading this morning?
When's the last day of June, by the way? When is that? How many days away is that?
Tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow?
No, Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
And then Wednesday's the 1st of July.
That would work.
Can you remind me, though, please, because always on the last day of June, I always listen to some of the first-time Bobby Goldsboro. You know, was a hard afternoon, the last day of June, and the sun was...
OK, we'll
So
remind
can you just remind me, because it's Bobby Goldsboro Day tomorrow, so the last day of June. So if you don't mind, if you can let me know, I'd appreciate that.
It's
We
tomorrow.
will.
Thank you. I'll forget, though, and then it'll be July, and then I'll think
Can you
another
believe it?
year.
Can you believe it's going to be July on Wednesday?
Well, yeah.
The year is running away with us.
Is it Wednesday or Thursday? It's Wednesday.
It is definitely
Okay.
Wednesday. 'Cause I actually looked at it this morning thinking July must be rolling around any time now.
Yeah. Be August before you know it, Ellie.
It's funny how that works, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's almost it's like a clock.
Yeah,
It is.
but bigger.
We're blasted now,
Oh,
I'm afraid.
dear me.
I'm afraid, right.
Anyone would worry because there's a bottle of gin down here, but honestly, I promise you we haven't touched it.
He's actually teetotal. so
Yeah,
it's
there you go. I've got no excuse.
Not him.
Right, on to politics, because Andy Burnham's going to set out his vision for Britain in his first major speech since launching his bid for the Prime Ministerial... No, it's a Labour leadership, but it's basically he wants to be the Prime Minister.
The would-be Prime Minister.
Help.
The Prime Minister in waiting. so-called. He's expected to outline plans to give regional mayors more control over social housing, welfare and post-16 education.
Well, he'll argue he needs a decade to overhaul Britain and is also expected to move parts of the Downing Street operation to the north.
Well, this comes amid speculation over who could become Chancellor in an anti-Burnham government. Could it be Pat McFadden, Ed Miliband or Wes Streeting? Just some of the names being floated.
Let's talk to the Shadow Chancellor, Sir Mel Stride, who joins us now. Good morning to you, Mel. Look, with all of this...
Good morning, Steve.
If he's going to set out anything which is going to significantly change the direction that Britain is heading in at the moment, he's going to have to depart from the manifesto, isn't he?
Well, what he's going to have to do, and good morning, Stephen, is actually start grasping some of the big issues that face our country in a way that this government absolutely has not. And that involves, for example, controlling public spending, particularly the welfare bill, getting people off benefits and into work, getting taxes down, particularly on businesses, and a number of other reforms as well. And what we're hearing from Andy Burnham, actually, I think, is somebody who's talking about process and shuffling power between politicians and very little about the big serious issues that need to be gripped if we are, for example, to be able to afford the right level of defence spending to look after an elderly population that we have in this country and all the other challenges that we face as a nation. And let's see what he has to say, but I have a horrible feeling that it's all going to sound very good, but not amount to the real change that this country needs.
Well, in terms of tackling the real change, he's laying out plans, we understand today, about moving parts of the Number 10 operation to the north. We're being told we can expect to hear about a radical programme of English devolution. Now, is that a good or a bad thing for the country, do you think?
Well, I think, as a party, the Conservatives, of course, we brought in a substantial amount of devolution back in the 2010s, and Manchester and the mayoralty there was very much part of a Conservative design, and that approach can work. And so I'm not saying that there might not be space here for further devolution in a positive way. But as I say, I think talking about those things and, moving an office of Number 10 physically up to the north of the country and so on, in and of themselves don't actually address the fundamental issues. And right in the centre of those fundamental issues is getting on top of the welfare bill. We've got far too many people on these long-term sickness and disability benefits. They need to be taken off those benefits and brought into work. We've shown that we have a very clear plan to do that, a plan that will save £23 billion. And that then allows you to do things like properly fund our defence, which is absolutely imperative, and also get taxes down, particularly on businesses, so that we can grow the economy. That's what I want to hear from Andy Burnham, and that's the kind of stuff that we've heard nothing from him about so far, at least.
But the big question I would have to you then is, if he did come up with stuff that you do want to hear in that way, if he says we're going to tackle, he's not going to be overly specific, but if he says, we're going to do some real cost cutting and we're going to fund things through cost cutting as much as anything else, would you actually support him?
Yes, Stephen, absolutely. And we've made it very clear to the Labour Party and through the current Prime Minister that in the event that Labour comes forward with a clear, robust plan for tackling the burgeoning welfare bill, then we will support the government. And the reason why it's necessary for us to offer that support, of course, is that the Labour Party backbenchers themselves have no stomach for any of this kind of reform. We saw what happened about a year ago when they tried some modest reductions in welfare spending, and they could not get it through the House of Commons, couldn't get it through their own backbenchers. So we are very clear that if they are prepared to do the right thing for the country on welfare, get the welfare bill down, get people back into work to help grow the economy and make people better off overall, then we will support them. But we've had absolutely no signs that they're prepared to do that.
OK. Shadow Chancellor Sir Mel Stride, always good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us on GB News Breakfast.
Let's just get some thoughts from our chief political correspondent, Catherine Forster. I mean, this is going to be a very important speech today because it's the first time, actually, I mean, the man is walking into Number 10 unchallenged at the moment. I mean, it looks like it's all just going to happen, and yet we do not know. This is the first time we're going to get any insight into what that's going to mean for the country.
Yes, 2 weeks ago, Andy Burnham was not even an MP in Westminster. 3 weeks today, almost certainly pardon me, he is going to be Prime Minister. So this is a really big moment. I think we can expect a lot of devolution to regional mayors, particularly. Of course, he was a regional mayor. If I had to sum up in 2 words his vision, it would be, and you have heard this before with Boris Johnson, levelling up. Because he's saying he wants to give growth in every postcode. I think this message of the North has been forgotten will move into a slightly subtler message of basically everywhere deserves the same opportunities, good infrastructure, good opportunities. And he believes that giving power back to the regions, he thinks that people in their own regions have a better idea what's needed to improve things than people in Westminster. I mean, I think there's a lot of agreement that how Whitehall works isn't working for people. Whether this is the answer, of course, we don't know. And the Tories say this is just basically shuffling around politicians.
Catherine, I was fascinated by the reporting on the front page of the Times this morning that says that Andy Burnham wants to put welfare reform at the heart of his tenure. Well, that's exactly what Sir Keir Starmer tried to do, and his backbenchers didn't allow him to do anything when it came to welfare. So do you think it will be different with Andy Burnham, or will he run into the same problems as Sir Keir Starmer has?
Well, he's still going to have exactly the same Labour MPs who just turned round to Sir Keir Starmer a year ago and said no to £5 billion off welfare. But I think he will try to bring welfare spending down, but he will go about it in a different way. So rather than going, we're cutting £5 billion, it's particularly... I was at his local election campaign launch speech. He talked a lot about young people. We've got 1 million young people not in education, employment or training. And this review recently revealed that the government is spending £25 on benefits for those young people for every £1 that it's helping them get into work, which surely is bonkers. So I think we'll hear a lot more about helping people back into work, young people. He wants to get away from this. It's all about university. He wants much more technical education. Of course, these are things that are going to take a very, very long time to get through.
But the interesting thing is, it depends how bold he's prepared to be. Because if he wanted to change welfare significantly, he could do it. It just would mean a rebellion on his own backbenches, but getting the support of Reform and the Conservatives. So he could actually get stuff through. It's just his own party wouldn't be happy about it.
Yes, and the Tories will helpfully offer, as they have before, but of course no Prime Minister wants to be beholden to opposition parties. So I think it's very difficult. Obviously, he's got a bounce in the polls, the speculation about a general election. I suspect he's probably as popular now as he will ever be. And that's partly because people can project onto him in a way everything that they want, because he's to some extent an unknown quantity. But if that poll lead is sustained for several months, sure, they'd likely lose a lot of MPs, but he would give him a mandate, because he's going to be pretty constricted within the manifesto, you would think, to how radical he can be.
Catherine, we are out of time with you, but I just wanted to ask you this one thing very quickly. We're not expecting Andy Burnham to take any questions from journalists today. He's going to set out his agenda and then move on. How unusual is that? And isn't it really important, if he is going to walk into number 10 unchallenged, as Stephen was saying, it certainly looks that way at the moment, then isn't scrutiny really important?
Oh, yes. And I had a short interview with him at the beginning of his local election campaign. But since what I would describe as a car crash interview on another channel where he was asked about the fiscal rules and wouldn't say what they were, he hasn't done any broadcast, and he's been... when he won at the by-election, I was there, didn't speak to the press. The following morning, had a rally, didn't speak to the press. Our political editor, Chris Hope, on a train as we speak, to go to this. We don't expect any questions, which is very unusual, and I would say very, very, very poor. Normally, they have a pretty small list. We are hearing there will be no questions because he's pushed time. I think the media will have plenty to say about that.
Yeah, quite rightly so. Catherine, thank you. Let's talk to Reform's Treasury spokesperson, Robert Jenrick. Good morning to you. It's nice to see you. Catherine here was saying, in effect, what it looks like we're going to hear from Andy Burnham is, in effect, some sort of levelling up agenda. What do you make of that?
Well, look, I'm all for spreading prosperity and opportunity across the country. I'm from the Midlands. I want to see every person in this country have lower energy bills, better prospects, good jobs, benefit from a stronger country. But I don't see any of that in what's being announced today. This sounds like it is just a load of waffle. Andy Burnham hasn't even walked into number 10 and he's already playing for time. He's saying it's going to take him 10 years to turn this country around. Well, people can't wait 10 years. People want to see radical change now. That is what people are crying out for. They've already seen government after government fail to deliver this kind of change. And is Andy Burnham going to secure our borders and stop the boats? No. Is he going to face down his backbenchers and tackle welfare so that he can get taxes down? No, in fact, quite the opposite. His Chief Lieutenant Louise Haigh is saying that taxes are going to go up on savers and anyone who makes a capital gain. Is he going to stop bedsits being taken over on your own street and filled with illegal migrants? No, of course he isn't. Is he going to take on Ed Miliband and ensure that we have lower energy prices so that we can truly reindustrialise the North and the Midlands? No. In fact, Ed Miliband is being talked about as Chancellor of the Exchequer. I'm afraid he is not proposing any change at all, and the British public are going to very quickly see through exactly what Andy Burnham means.
He set out his agenda for change today, which we understand is going to be a radical programme. Look, can I just ask you about this poll that was out in the weekend in the past few days, which revealed that a Labour Party led by Andy Burnham would leapfrog Reform UK in the polls if a general election were to be held today. They put an Andy Burnham government at 27%, which was just above Reform UK. Now, clearly, the Labour Party at the moment, Andy Burnham is walking into number 10 unchallenged, isn't he? They clearly believe he is the man to beat Reform. What do you say to that?
Well, let's see, shall we? Look, if that is the zenith of Andy Burnham, then it is all downhill from here on in. And I am confident that the British public will see through Andy Burnham very quickly indeed. Look at today. He isn't even taking any questions from the media, as you just reported. So how is this man supposed to be our Prime Minister when he hasn't been elected in a general election? He didn't stand on the Labour Party's manifesto. He has no mandate. There's not been any vote of Labour MPs or members. And he isn't even prepared to take a single question from the media at supposedly his big economic speech. I think people are going to find that Andy Burnham talks a good talk, but there's no substance behind it at all. And this is at a moment where the British public want to see radical change being delivered quickly to stop the boats, to bring down energy prices, to bring back good jobs, to get people's livelihoods back up again after a period of stagnation. It's going to be a big, big disappointment.
And you criticise him for having a 10-year plan. I mean, there's talk of saying, well, it's all hubris and arrogance and all the rest of it to say, well, I need to be in for 10 years. But isn't it meant to be quite refreshing that a politician looks at a decade-long plan rather than just something which gets them an immediate vote surge?
Well, sure, but what is the plan? What's the substance behind this? All I can see is that he wants to move some civil servants from Westminster to central Manchester. Well, I'm all for getting jobs out of London and into the rest of the country, but the idea that that alone is going to transform the living standards of people in Manchester, let alone the whole country, is completely for the birds. What we actually need to see are serious policies to tackle the big underlying problems facing the country. Andy Burnham, let's take an example, says he wants to reindustrialise. Well, we in Reform share that ambition, but you're never going to get industry going again in the Midlands or the North or anywhere in the country when you've got energy prices that are the highest in the developed world, where the electricity prices in a factory in Manchester would be 5 times higher than those in Texas. That is why we're losing car manufacturing, steel, glass, ceramics, any industry that relies on high energy usage. And you're not going to succeed with that if you have Ed Miliband as our Chancellor, or indeed if he stayed on as Energy Secretary, because his overzealous attitude towards net zero is absolutely killing industry in this country. So I'm afraid it doesn't stack up. It's not going to reindustrialise this country.
All right, forgive me, but in terms of that, I mean, there's a lot of things in some respects that you would agree with in terms of like a bigger agenda of levelling up and better infrastructure in these parts of the country, and that a lot of that would involve a lot of capital spend, which is difficult to finance at the moment, but is ultimately good for the nation. I mean, is the problem that this appears to be window dressing without actually tackling you've got to start at the bottom first, have you, and actually work out the basics before you start looking at capital spend and infrastructure and all these other issues? Is that what you're saying?
Well, look, I think Andy Burnham, throughout his career, has proven to be one of those politicians that talks a big game but doesn't deliver. You know, when he was last here in Westminster, he was good at PR, but he was a bad minister. And as Mayor of Manchester, he's been a popular figure, but he's just been doling out cash that central government have been giving him. He's never had to take difficult decisions. As Prime Minister, he's going to have to take on the big structural problems facing the British economy. They are, how do you get energy prices down? Well, you do that by scrapping net zero, getting drilling in the North Sea, ensuring that we can have cheap and reliable energy again. Is he going to do that? No, I don't think there's a cat in hell's chance that he's going to do that. Is he going to tackle welfare? We've got 6.5 million people who are out of work claiming benefits at the moment. Many of those people need to be back into the workplace. And that means taking on the Labour backbenchers in Parliament just beside me and taking forward some serious and difficult reforms, exactly the ones that we in Reform are prepared to do, like saying that you can't claim benefits if you've got mild anxiety or very low-level conditions. Is he prepared to do that? No, I don't think he is. He's not said anything on an issue like that. If you're not prepared to take on the big structural challenges now, you're not going to make any progress, and all it's going to mean is higher taxes. And as night follows day, Andy Burnham means higher taxes. We've already heard from Louise Haigh, one of his chief advisors and campaign managers at the weekend, saying that she wants to see a big slapped-on new tax on people's savings. Well, that means the people who are working hard in this country, the people who are getting up early, putting in the hours, saving, building small businesses, are going to find their taxes increasing because Andy Burnham is not prepared to do the difficult things that are needed to get this country back on its feet again.
OK. Robert Jenrick, thank you very much for joining us this morning on GB News Breakfast. We are expecting Andy Burnham today to talk about welfare reform, and we understand he's going to say it's going to be at the heart of his tenure. So we'll just have to wait and see what he's got planned.
Yeah, well, it depends what he's going to do, doesn't it? There's an awful lot of questions here. And so the fact we won't really get the answers today because he won't be challenged, he won't be questioned by journalists, which is the problem because everything needs to be challenged. It's why we do our job. It's why we always put an opposite point of view to whoever we're interviewing, because you need to challenge them. They've got to be able to defend their position.
But as Catherine was saying, he has been protected by his team, hasn't he, since Makerfield?
Yeah.
Since the by-election.
Oh, well.
Is that what we're going to continue to see from Andy Burnham? Perhaps. Let us know what you think. gbnews.com/you'll-say.
Right, 21 minutes past 8. The number of people killed in the earthquakes which hit Venezuela last week has now reached 1,500. International rescue teams are still working to get people out of rubble in La Guaira, the hardest hit state in the country. There are tens of thousands of people who are still missing.
Millions of households will face higher energy bills from Wednesday, with the average annual bill rising by more than £200. Ofgem's latest price cap means a typical gas and electricity customer will now pay around £1,860 a year, with analysts expecting prices to remain steady in October.
If you fancy fish and chips tonight, it's getting pricier, with a portion of haddock and chips costing over £10, cod and chips over 11. A new report says more than 7,000 chippies nationwide, but owners are under pressure from rising costs.
Now let's have a look at the weather with Honor Krizik.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of dry weather today, feeling warm, certainly not quite as humid as it did last week, and there will be some showers on the cards. These mostly in the northwest, particularly across western areas of Scotland, though any showers should become quite well scattered by the afternoon, so hopefully some bright, if not sunny spells in between. But you can see across the bulk of the country, it should be mostly dry, a mix of cloud and also some brighter spells. Mostly light winds as well, so where we do see any sunshine, it should feel rather warm and pleasant. Highs reaching around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius, but like I said, not quite as humid as the last few days. Now, to finish off the day across Scotland, there'll still be quite a decent amount of cloud around, still some lingering showers across the south, perhaps the best of the brightness across the very far north of Scotland. But notice behind me there is some rain on its way, some heavy, if not thundery showers initially across Northern Ireland, pushing their way northeastwards. But actually elsewhere across England and Wales, it should be quite a dry end to the day, plenty of clear skies. Gradually turning more and more unsettled through the overnight period, however. These heavy showers will continue to push their way northeastwards before longer spells of rain start to push into parts of the northwest. Now this could be rather heavy at times, if not quite thundery, some quite blustery winds as well. Even to the south where we don't see any rain, there's going to be quite a lot of cloud around and potentially some showers. Still quite a mild night, temperatures not dropping much below 16 to 17 degrees Celsius in the southeast. But Tuesday itself does look like a rather unsettled day. Spells of rain continuing in the northwest, still heavy and thundery at times. Then we do have this band of heavy showers eventually pushing into northwest England, Wales and parts of the southwest as well. These too could also be heavy with the odd rumble of thunder. The best of the brightness will be across central and southeast England. This is where we'll see the highest of the temperatures as well. Highs reaching between 23 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Still to come, a major inquiry is calling for sweeping education reforms after finding white working-class pupils are still amongst the lowest achievers. We'll find out what's going on with one of the report's authors in a moment.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you. Bulletins on GB News,
the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Needs to stop. We can allow.
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth.
laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 8:28. Now, an independent inquiry has found the education system has failed white working-class pupils and called for once-in-a-generation reforms.
Well, the report says they remain the lowest-performing major group in England. The co-chair is Baroness Estelle Morris. You might remember her from previous Labour governments, actually. She says responsibility cannot sit with schools alone.
Well, we're delighted to say that we're joined now by Partner for Public First and one of the authors of this report, Ed Dorrell, who joins us now. Very good morning to you, Ed.
Morning.
You've been working on this for over a year now, haven't you? What have you found out?
Well, we found out an awful lot, but at its core, well, there's a series of data points which have never seen the light of day before, which illustrate just how profound the problem is. From attendance, where white working class kids are nearly twice as likely to be missing school, to readiness for school, where white working class children are most likely by some distance to not reach the expected levels at GCSEs. White working class kids are nearly twice as likely to do poorly at GCSEs. At almost every single metric, we see the attainment gap between white working class pupils and non-white working class pupils growing all the time.
But the big question then is, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm. There are structural problems in the system. I would be the first to say I don't think teachers themselves or school staff are discriminating in any way. That would be a complete misrepresentation. What you're seeing is a system that doesn't provide the kind of education or the kind of engagement that white working class pupils and importantly white working class families say they want. What white working class communities told us they judge to be success is different to the way we've set up our education system.
So what would they like to see?
They want to stay local. They want to be trained and educated for jobs in their local communities. They want high-quality vocational routes. They want apprenticeships. In many white working-class places, apprenticeships are as rare as hen's teeth.
Yeah.
And white working-class communities know that. That is the gold standard that white working-class communities want for their young people, and yet they know that they're not there.
So what is the difference then between white working class and non-white working class then, in terms are they wanting different things for their kids, or?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things. I think there are slight cultural differences in terms of engagement in your local community. White working class families often want to stay local and stay within their communities. They also slightly different approach to education, I think it's safe to say. And also, it's worth saying very explicitly that white working class communities are concentrated in places where there is severe economic deprivation, multi-generational economic deprivation, whereas non-white working class communities tend to be concentrated in cities. So if you go to a place like Hartlepool, as we did, or Stoke, as we did, you see multi-generational economic and educational failure.
Do these failings go all the way back to the Blair government and talking about education, and university being the gold standard, this focus on higher education? Did that start to leave working class families behind?
I would say that the Blair government did an awful lot for working class communities. I think the focus on English and maths at primary was really important. Sure Start, which was taken apart by the Conservative government, played a huge role in improving a lot of working class communities. I would say, though, I think that the approach to higher education that started under Labour but continued through the coalition and Conservative government, that the 3-year BA course at a university, accumulating a lot of debt, is quite alienating to white working class communities. It is not necessarily what they want. One of the things that we call for is a rethink of the whole swathes of HE, of higher education. We think universities, especially local universities, should be thinking about 1-year courses, 2-year courses, entry points that are linked to the local labour market, to local jobs, so they feel authentic and credible to working class communities, rather than this obsession with 3-year courses.
Well, but it's about, as you mentioned, apprenticeships and anything which is practical on that point. I mean, back in my day, it was always the talk. You know, if you get a trade, you've got a trade for life.
Absolutely.
Then, and you can be set up for your entire life with the trade. And yet it does seem to be, over the last 20, 30 years, something which is almost looked down on.
Yeah, I think there's actually a disconnect. I'm not sure that's quite right. I think in the last 10 years, successive governments, both Conservative and Labour, have pushed apprenticeships really hard. They've been centre point of the way that they talk about education. And yet the provision isn't there. So it's almost like working class communities feel that they've been sold a duck. You know, they've been told that this is what you should aim for or strive for, and yet they're not there. And one of the things that we found, that I found really interesting, and I've been thinking about this kind of stuff for many, many years, is the extent to which the lack of apprenticeships and the knowledge that there's a lack of apprenticeships filters down into the rest of the school system. So if you know that your gold standard isn't there, why are you going to strive to do well in your GCSEs? Because what you want to achieve isn't there. So white working class communities identify success routes that are outside education, that they see routes into success being instead of school rather than because of school.
OK, Ed Dorrell, fascinating to talk to you this morning and talk to you about your findings. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I wish we had longer with you. Thank you.
Let's just very quickly tell you about the fantastic brand new Great British giveaway. It's 60,000 in tax-free cash, plus a real gold bar worth more than £5,000. Here's how you take part.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific 2-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like this year. What would you do with that? And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. It's pure gold to own, trade or gift to a loved one and secure their financial future. So make sure you don't miss your chance to bank over £65,000 worth of prizes in our golden summer celebration. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry starts at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Now, if you're travelling to work or school this morning, here's your traffic and travel update.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Travellers should note the A87 Skye Bridge is hazardous due to high winds. The M4 is heavily congested eastbound between junctions 28 and 24, causing delays. The A160 eastbound in North Lincolnshire is closed due to a collision, with normal traffic expected around 3:45 p.m. There's a 10-minute delay on the M60 southbound at junction 4 in Bury. Delays of up to 50 minutes are anticipated on the A34 northbound in Oxfordshire due to a crash. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast services face disruptions, particularly between Newark Northgate and Grantham. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, children's mental health crisis. It's been revealed that over 1 million young people are referred to mental health services every single year. The Children's Commissioner joins us live next.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There, you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it? Because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 8:40. Now, a new report says children's mental health services in England are in crisis, with more than 1 million young people affected in a single year.
Now, unbelievably, it's about 1 in 10 children being referred for, waiting for or receiving treatment, with demand nearly doubling since 2018.
Well, let's speak now to Children's Commissioner Rachel D'Souza, who joins us now. Very good morning to you. Good to see you this morning. This isn't sustainable, is it? Would you say that we're at crisis point? 1 in 10 children being referred to mental health services?
Yeah, we're absolutely at crisis point. And look, I think I collect this data every year. We are now double the numbers from 2018. Double the numbers with 10,000 extra just last year. This isn't going away, it's not stopping, and it needs action. We need to do something about it, because we mustn't forget that these are real children being affected, and many of them are waiting for over 2 years or waiting for months, and they are really upset, really anxious. The biggest reasons are anxiety, or suspected autism. We need to deal with these things in a different way, far earlier, and get it sorted.
I don't want to sound heartless, Rachel. I mean, don't get me wrong. My concern with this, and when you're looking at 10% of children, is, especially when it comes to something like anxiety, should these children be getting referred at all, or do we need to teach them a bit more resilience? Anxiety shouldn't be seen as necessarily a problem, should it?
Yeah, look, to get referred, it's got to be really serious. But I do want to lean into your point and say you're right in the sense that we should be dealing with this in different ways far earlier. So I think by the time you've got to a referral, and I mean, I've talked to every single head teacher in this country. 90% of head teachers have replied to surveys from me saying their number one concern is children's mental health services. I think what we've got are problems that are bubbling early on, not been dealt with, and it ending up in crisis in these referrals. So where I think you're right is we should be looking hard at childhood. Why is this happening? How come we've got to the stage where we've got children, we've got 1 in 10 children referring, and when I speak to children, they're talking to me about worries about money, worries about getting a job when they're 9 or 10 years old. They're spending hours of their days on social media apps. The way we're bringing our children up really needs a good think. We need to support them far better. And when they do show signs of worries, show signs of worries of anxiety, dealing with it early, and dealing with it in ways that really work for kids, making sure they've got friendships, that they're out to play, that they've got a good bedtime. The other thing in those figures was that autism figure. And I think with that, we need to say autism is often shown by behaviour. And the best way to deal with that is early, with support around nurseries and schools, helping families and children deal with those behaviour things so that they can actually manage and cope and don't end up on a mental health waiting list, which is where we don't want any child. And do you know why it's doubly important? 1 in 3 children who were absent from school, often for anxiety, during lockdown, have ended up neat, not in education or training later on. And that shows the impact of not dealing with these issues.
Can I ask you about something else today, which is this inquiry that's been published this morning saying that white working class children are being failed by our education system, speaking to thousands of young people and parents and hundreds of teachers as well, essentially saying that they have been robbed of opportunity. What's your response to that independent inquiry? Would you agree with its findings?
So I think it's a great inquiry. I know colleagues of mine who were involved with it and did it, and I've got a bit of personal skin in the game here. I'm a steelworker's daughter from Scunthorpe with 3 brothers, so I've experienced that being a white working class child in this country. And I think there are some really practical, important things we need to do. We need to start thinking again about vocational education, making sure it happens early enough, making sure that the things that can help kids thrive, like the sport, the jobs, the summer jobs, the work experience, the vocational pathways alongside learning about the best that's been thought and said are available to them. Because if not, we're losing the talent of this country, and that's the talent that made this country great for centuries, and we just cannot afford to do that. And the government should be thinking about employers investing, in those areas, particularly those left behind areas. I come from Scunthorpe. I want to see investment there. It was a great steel town, and everybody's there ready to work. We need to do more here. So I'm a big supporter. Yes.
Rachel D'Souza, you're a breath of fresh air. I'll tell you that. It's fascinating to talk to you in this sort of common sense sort of language. It's great, not political. It's very nice. Thank you for your time this morning.
Yeah, always good to chat to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But just an ordinary conversation about it. I really like that.
Yeah, and she's passionate. That comes right through, doesn't it?
Yeah,
so let's hope something can be done, because we are at crisis point. We can't carry on like this, can we? Anyway, you will certainly have a view. gbnews.com/your say.
We've got the sport heading your way with Paul in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
The final preparations before a world first. At RAF Wittering in Cambridgeshire, these JCB mechanics and engineers are attempting to rewrite history, chasing a world land speed record with a hydrogen car. The JCB Hydromax puts out 1,600 horsepower, powered entirely by 2 hydrogen-fuelled internal combustion engines. The 32-foot-long vehicle is trying to beat JCB's existing record, which was achieved with a diesel engine back in 2006. It reached a speed of over 350 miles an hour. For chairman of JCB Lord Bamford, the new car is about pushing the boundaries of new technology.
GB News, the People's Channel. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Father's Day has long been a fixture in the family calendar. But as household budgets remain under pressure, some are questioning whether the tradition of buying gifts is beginning to fade. Jim Cox has worked in the gift-giving industry for more than 30 years and says Father's Day simply isn't the draw it once was.
We're kind of reliant on the big gifting period. Father's Day is probably the weakest of like the bigger gifting events. It's picked up a bit this week, but probably not as much as I would expect. And I think generally people, like average basket size isn't really where I'd want it either. So I think people are spending a bit less, being a bit careful, and also thinking general trend in gifting is thinking maybe about experiences and spending time with people.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
What does it do for people who are wounded, injured or sick veterans? What does it do for them to do this sort of voyage on this wonderful sailing ship?
Good morning. It is that human impact, and that's why Turn to Starboard exists, and even at the Invictus Games Birmingham 2027. It's about giving people maybe a reset, maybe seeing, taking that breath, but also a bit of camaraderie as well. Literally everybody's in the same boat. The blue environment is completely different. Everything is different on a boat. Walking, sitting down, making a cup of tea, even going to the loo is slightly different. So we can give people a break from sort of the pressures of life.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Welcome back. It's sports time. Paul's here with us. Morning.
I'm going to talk about the cricket instead of the World Cup right now because it's the final day of the final test against New Zealand, and it's 1-1. It looks like New Zealand are going to win it today. But the big story is Ben Stokes, because Ben Stokes has stepped down as England captain and did it on the fourth day. It was really bizarre that it actually happened. We're going to discuss a little more with Paul Newman from The Athletic, who's the cricket correspondent there, who will know the whole inside track on, no pressure here, Paul, on everything that's going on. But thanks a lot for coming on. It's always great to see you. Now, do you feel like I do that maybe this is a bit of a strange time for Ben Stokes to announce this in the middle of a match and then goes out and opens the batting? It almost seems it's all about Ben and less about England. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. The timing was extraordinary, wasn't it, Paul? I don't think there's ever been anybody who's announced their retirement in the middle of a match before, not even at the end of a day's play. Initial feelings were it's selfish, it's performative, it's disrespectful to New Zealand. And it really became a bit of a sideshow in the middle of a test that England were looking destined to lose. New Zealand had battled into an incredibly strong position. And it just all seemed to be all about Ben, as it were, as you said. Now, after hearing Ben talk afterwards, he talked to Sky TV afterwards, and he was very convincing in giving his reasons for going now and the timing of it. So I was prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt to an extent after that. We have to remember what a great captor he's been. But it did seem a little bit strange.
I mean, there's no question. I mean, he's been an amazing player, great entertainer, and everybody loves him. But is this going back to what happened after the first test, this drinks, or do you think this has been bubbling for a while, the fact that he maybe thought, you know what, I think I've had enough? Because I just find the whole thing just as if we don't know the whole story.
Yeah, I think there's more to come for sure. And I think the business in Chelsea was the final confirmation in his mind. But it all goes back to the Ashes, really. That clearly hit him really hard, losing in such a terrible way. There's clearly they've denied a rift, but there's clearly a difference of opinion with Ben and Brendan McCullum on the way to go forward. And when Ben turned up for the first test, actually, at Lord's, he was tetchy, he looked weary. And there were former England captains in the media saying it looks as if his race is run. The signs are there that he's coming towards the end. And that was all before Chelsea. Chelsea almost seemed to be a release to him. He seemed to want to celebrate that much harder than he should have done because he was struggling to carry on as captain. Now, he brought that on himself. I don't have much sympathy there. He brought the whole business on himself. it's costing them the series, this whole controversy, because they won that first test. They were going, I've no doubt they would have gone on to beat New Zealand. And now I've no doubt they're going to lose today. So the whole business has cost him and cost England. The ECB, I believe, are still angry at him and blame him to a large extent, even though we now know that he wasn't involved in the incident in the nightclub. He was just a bystander. But what was he doing there, basically?
Well, listen, Paul. Well, I've got just one more quick question, and that's what I want to ask you, is that do you think, from what I've seen as well, because the ECB, nobody ever said he's going to be captain now for a long time, etc. Everybody's very cagey about it. Do you think it was agreed that at the end of this test, he would be announced that he's stepping down, and then Ben Stokes did a Ben Stokes thing and said, this is the way I want to do it, and then announced it without them being aware?
Well, it was being blamed on the ECB communications staff yesterday, actually. They said it was their idea. I don't know if that's true or not. But, yeah, I think everybody's come to a conclusion that this is the best way forward, that his race is run and it's time to move on now. But that does leave them with a terrible predicament because Harry Brook is not ready to be England Test captain, as he showed with his quite bizarre innings yesterday. Joe Root took on the job at the Oval and didn't do it too well. So they've got a hell of a problem now. And there could be other heads to fall as well. Rob Key and Brendan McCullum are in no way safe.
I'm really sorry. We're going to have to leave it there. We're just out of time. But thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm going to put myself up for the job. So if there's a possibility, you never know. It can't be any worse than things have been recently. Anyway, we'll speak to Sophia, who's going to be at Wimbledon. A little tennis coming up in the next few seconds. Weather coming up next.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of dry weather today, feeling warm, certainly not quite as humid as it did last week, and there will be some showers on the cards. These mostly in the northwest, particularly across western areas of Scotland, though any showers should become quite well scattered by the afternoon, so hopefully some bright, if not sunny spells in between. We can see across the bulk of the country it should be mostly dry, a mix of cloud and also some brighter spells. Mostly light winds as well, so where we do see any sunshine it should feel rather warm and pleasant, highs reaching around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius, but like I said, not quite as humid as the last few days. Now, to finish off the day across Scotland, there'll still be quite a decent amount of cloud around, still some lingering showers across the south, perhaps the best of the brightness across the very far north of Scotland. But notice behind me there is some rain on its way, some heavy, if not thundery showers initially across Northern Ireland, pushing their way northeastwards. But actually elsewhere across England and Wales, it should be quite a dry end to the day, plenty of clear skies. Gradually turning more and more unsettled through the overnight period, however. These heavy showers will continue to push their way northeastwards before longer spells of rain start to push into parts of the northwest. Now this could be rather heavy at times, if not quite thundery, some quite blustery winds as well. Even to the south where we don't see any rain, there's going to be quite a lot of cloud around and potentially some showers. Still quite a mild night, temperatures not dropping much below 16 to 17 degrees Celsius in the southeast. But Tuesday itself does look like a rather unsettled day. Spells of rain continuing in the northwest, still heavy and thundery at times. Then we do have this band of heavy showers eventually pushing into northwest England, Wales and parts of the southwest as well. These too could also be heavy with the odd rumble of thunder. The best of the brightness will be across central and southeast England. This is where we'll see the highest of the temperatures as well. Highs reaching between 23 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. On the A1 northbound between Wallyford and Old Craighall, traffic is slow due to a broken down vehicle. The M4 eastbound at junction 33 near Capel Lanilturn is congested at the off-slip. Please be aware that the M6 southbound at junction 9 has 2 of 3 lanes closed because of a broken down vehicle. There are currently no active incidents on the M25 clockwise between junction 24 and junction 25 as earlier collisions have cleared. And on the trains, there is a reduced service on various Avanti West Coast routes and disruption between Newark Northgate and Grantham for Grand Central passengers. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash. And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray, are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline.
Should we be worried about it? From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good morning. Andy Burnham will set out his 10-year vision for Britain today.
Yes, he'll lay out his plans to spread Number 10's operations up north and promise good growth for every postcode.
So, could the Prime Minister in waiting transform the economy and convince voters there's no need for a general election? This is what Reform have had to say.
This sounds like it is just a load of waffle. Andy Burnham hasn't even walked into Number 10 and he's already playing for time.
When the Shadow Chancellor, Sir Mel Stride, had this to say.
What we're hearing from Andy Burnham, actually, I think, is somebody who's talking about process and shuffling power between politicians and very little about the big, serious issues that need to be gripped.
Well, Britain's next generation of destroyers could be scrapped in favour of drone motherships and autonomous warfare. Is this now the future of defence?
A major inquiry is calling for sweeping education reforms after finding that white working-class pupils are still among the lowest achievers.
Congratulations today for the Princess of Wales, who's conquered the gruelling Three Peaks Challenge, raising money for cancer charities as she embraces life beyond her own diagnosis.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills.
Well, the Princess is believed to be the first member of the royal family to complete the gruelling Three Peaks Challenge, completing it in less than 24 hours, and all in aid of Royal Marsden charity.
And in sport this morning, as we just heard, Ben Stokes steps down as England captain, but is it the right time in the middle of a test? Canada become the first country to the World Cup last 16 after beating South Africa in injury time, and Wimbledon starts today, but without Emma Raducanu.
Hello there, good morning. A much fresher day ahead, certainly not feeling quite as hot or as humid as last week, but still some sunshine in the forecast. Stay tuned and I'll have all the details.
Just gone 9 o'clock. I'm Stephen Dixon.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast.
Well, just 2 hours now until Andy Burnham is going to set out his vision for Britain in his first major speech since he launched his bid for the Labour leadership.
Well, he's expected to outline plans to give regional mayors more control over social housing, welfare and post-16 education.
He'll argue he needs a decade to overhaul Britain. He's also expected to propose moving parts of the whole Downing Street operation to the north.
Well, this all comes amid speculation over who could become Chancellor in an Andy Burnham government, with Pat McFadden, Ed Miliband and Wes Streeting just some of the names being floated.
Let's talk to our chief political correspondent, Catherine Forster, who's here. This actually is crucial today, isn't it? Because it's the first chance we get to find out what the man who will be Prime Minister, 99% chance of it, what he's actually going to do with the country.
Yes, exactly. And we're used to politics moving fast, but it's sort of going at warp speed now, because we're heading to our 5th Prime Minister in 4 years. And we've got a man making a speech today who's almost certainly going to be Prime Minister in 3 weeks from now, who 2 weeks ago wasn't even an MP in Westminster. So a big speech outlining his economic vision for the country, if you like. I heard some of it at his launch speech for his Makerfield campaign. He's written a book, Head North, with the Mayor of Liverpool, Steve Rotherham, which I've also read. But basically, it's levelling up. He won't call it that because that was Boris Johnson's phrase, but the idea, and he says it's a 10-year programme. Well, Sir Keir Starmer used to say that, didn't he? And he's going to have only lasted 2 years. 10 years to bring growth to every postcode. So we're expecting a lot of devolution, something, of course, that was started under Tony Blair with, the assemblies in Wales and in Scotland. Then George Osborne continued that with the metro mayors, of which Andy Burnham has been one of them. But he wants to take that further. He basically thinks that government being run from Whitehall isn't working, and I think many of us would agree with that, but he thinks the solution is to give much more power and much more power over spending to regional mayors who he says know much better than people down here what's needed in that area. So a very big speech. We are not currently expecting any questions from the press, which I would say is highly unusual and will go down like a cup of cold sick.
Well, let's talk about that, shall we? Because it is unusual. Why do you think his team are deciding to let him do that? Because at the moment it appears, if we're not going to see a challenge, that Andy Burnham will become Prime Minister without answering any questions from the media, the Labour Party or the voters.
Well, his team... Let's just say it hasn't happened yet, but our expectation is there's no questions. His team are saying he's on a very tight schedule. He needs to get back to Westminster. There's hundreds of new Labour MPs that were not in Parliament when he was last an MP, so he's got lots of people to get to know, and he's going to be PM very shortly. However, I think there will be suspicions that he is not taking questions, partly because the last broadcast interview he did, it looked like he didn't know what the fiscal rules are, which is sort of pretty major. He didn't take questions at the by-election. He didn't take questions at the rally. People will suspect it may be because he doesn't have a lot of things nailed down. For example, we don't know really where he is on foreign policy. We don't really know on defence. There are so many questions that journalists, like our political editor, who will be there for GB News, would like to ask, that maybe Andy Burnham doesn't quite have the answers to. Now, I could be wrong, but of course, if journalists were there asking questions and he had the answers, then he'd be able to rebut that allegation, wouldn't he?
Well, one of the other big questions that we don't know the answers to is actually his fiscal policies on all of this. We know Wes Streeting's in the running to be Chancellor. We know Pat McFadden's in running to be Chancellor. Supposedly the favourite at the moment is Ed Miliband, and he's obviously, we know what that would involve. Louise Haig's advisor is saying scrap the fiscal rules, which would mean potentially tax rises, certainly more borrowing, which would be, people would say it would be a disaster for this country. And so that, but we don't even know what's going to happen here at home. And obviously the fiscal policy is what drives everything else.
Yeah, and I think whoever is Chancellor is going to be critical. It sounds like Andy Burnham is still undecided. Up in Makerfield, it had been briefed that Ed Miliband was the favourite. I was told that that wasn't happening, but it feels like Ed Miliband is still the favourite, but there's obvious many, many downsides. Will the markets take that or have a wobble? Even some of the unions have come out. I think Sharon Graham of Unite said that Ed Miliband as Chancellor would be like a noose round the neck of employers, because they see that the net zero drive, the very high cost of energy, is hampering growth, hampering employers. So it's a massive decision. I think either way, to be honest, there's going to be more spending. There's a suggestion that even within the fiscal rules, he could borrow quite a lot more for long-term investment. Rachel Reeves has done a lot of that. Probably a positive thing, but it'll take a long time for us to feel the benefit of it. Yes, suggestions on reforms of council tax, capital gains tax, all sorts of things. We just don't know. But, you know, taxes have gone up and up and up, and this also might be very expensive.
OK. Catherine Forster, thank you very much.
Just fill you with a bit of worry till we finally get. So at least we will find out what sort of direction we're going in today.
We can hope to get some clarity in a few hours' time, at least to answer some of the questions, we hope.
Should we look at something a bit more positive? Just to give us something to smile about this morning. We can always smile at the Princess of Wales, can't we? This time, she's completed the 3 Peaks Challenge, and that is not easy. She's been raising money for a cancer charity. She's the first member of the royal family to complete the feat. Let's have a watch.
Lots of people have asked me why I'm doing this challenge, and partly it's personal. I'm so grateful to be here, to be strong enough to walk these hills. But more importantly, it's to give something back and acknowledge really all the incredible work going on up and down this country. I've met some incredible people, those people who are living with and beyond cancer. And I know personally how difficult that journey is. And I really wanted to use this opportunity as my way of contributing to all the wonderful work that's going on. And in particular, to support the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity, an organisation very dear to me, but who do extraordinary work supporting those living with and beyond the disease.
Well, at the completion of the challenge, Princess Catherine was met by her adoring family, including the Prince of Wales and her 3 children.
Our royal correspondent Cameron Walker wasn't there to greet you. It should have been Cameron.
I should have done it with her, to be honest.
You should have done.
Yes.
I mean, this is really nice, actually, because it's an incredible challenge. But she's sort of done it on the quiet.
Yeah, and I think it's a full circle moment. I mean, I think back to that awful video of her having to sit on that park bench in Windsor and announce to the world that she was undergoing cancer treatment only 2 years ago. And now we get a video of her talking to the camera, having just completed the 3 Peaks Challenge, one of the most gruelling kind of walking challenges you can do within the United Kingdom, doing all 3 peaks, the highest peaks of both England, Scotland, Wales, Ben Nevis, Scafell Pike and Mount Snowdon, within 24 hours, and the princess completed it within 24 hours as well, completely solo. She had some mountain rescue teams kind of, you know, on standby because she is the future queen, just kind of following her along for logistical purposes. But she did the challenge, you know, completely herself. And as you said, the Prince of Wales and the 3 children were there to greet her alongside her mum and dad's, not Kate Middleton, sorry, Mike and Carol Middleton, and her brother James was also there to greet her at the end, at the bottom of Mount Snowdon. I bet it was quite an emotional time for her to be there. The princess, on a personal level, clearly wanted to complete this, having come out the other side of cancer treatment. It's physically grueling to do that kind of a challenge, so she wanted to prove to herself that she could do it. But more importantly to the princess, she didn't want to make it about herself. She wanted to shine the spotlight on the Royal Marsden charity. So the Royal Marsden Hospital in London, the Specialist Cancer Centre, is where she underwent her chemotherapy treatment, her preventative chemotherapy treatment. And they also have a charity attached to that, and that is what the princess was raising money for and awareness for. But the other thing she wanted to do was talk about how the holistic approach alongside the clinical treatment that she was having really helped her along the way and really helps other patients going through cancer right now and at the same time that she did. So getting out and about in nature, we've heard the Princess talk a lot about that, haven't we? And, you know, how much more nature can you get than doing the 3 Peaks Challenge?
I was just about to say to you, she has been so public about the fact that she finds so much comfort in nature. I was just having a look at James Middleton's Instagram because I think we were talking about a full circle moment, weren't we? And I remember when she was first diagnosed with cancer, he posted a picture of them hiking as children and said, "We have climbed many mountains together and we will overcome this one too." So this is clearly something that's very personal to her, isn't it? Not just in terms of the cancer journey, but also she really enjoys being out in nature and she loves exercise.
Yes, and just under 24 hours. She did it since she was out in nature for the whole day, yes. And of course, I think quite telling that James, her brother, was there to greet her at the end. At Mount Snowdon as well. Having done so much climbing as children, the Princess has also gone on Lake District holidays or to Cumbria with her daughter as well, Princess Charlotte. I think one of her birthday photographs of Princess Charlotte a couple of years ago was them on top of a quite high mountain or a very high hill in Cumbria. So it is something that she really is passionate about. But for her, it is about raising money for a cancer charity.
Just incredible.
Lovely. Cameron, thank you very much indeed.
Thank
it's nice to
you.
have something to smile about. And
It's just lovely.
I love the way she turns it. There could be a lot of focus on her. Well, I mean, there is, but she turns it around to everybody else. And
Yeah, she does. She's so humble, isn't she? And even the photos, you can see, there's one here on the front page of The Sun this morning. There she is, hood up, was clearly pouring it down at the summit of Ben Nevis, pouring it down, but she's there in her hood and her cap. Big smile on her face, just wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Best of British.
It's a dead normal picture, apart from the fact she's got that massive engagement ring on.
Yeah.
You know, which...
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there you go.
Brilliant stuff.
Lovely.
Good for her.
Right. Hopefully that's given you a smile. If you want something else to smile about, how about £60,000 in tax-free cash plus a real gold bar worth more than £5,000?
It's a great prize, isn't it?
Lovely.
Here are all the details that you need.
It's the Great British Giveaway Golden Summer Celebration. Your chance to win 2 fantastic prizes. There's an incredible £60,000 in tax-free cash that can make your bank account brilliant. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny. Plus, you'll also get your hands on a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. You could give that to your children, your grandchildren, or just invest it for the future. What would you do with it? Just make sure you don't miss your chance to win £60,000 cash and a fine gold bar. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck. Now, do stay with us till to come. It is day 1 of Wimbledon today. Our reporter, Sophia Wensler, is there for us.
They're back. Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pierce.
And me, Miriam Cates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Bold. They are under no illusion.
Ray,
Are you a human trafficker?
boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes & Co weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Welcome back to Breakfast. It's 90 minutes past 9. Day one of Wimbledon today. Paul has got all the details.
Gets underway today. It's the first Monday. Biggest names in tennis begin their bid for the title. We've got defending champion Jannik Sinner first on centre court before Arina Sabalenka and Novak Djokovic then follow on later. And joining us from Wimbledon, GB News reporter Sophia Wensler. Sophia, how is it there? Is the queue huge?
The queue is already stretching out far behind me across the park, as you can see. And I've spoken to the stewards this morning, and there's over 10,000 people here already, and there's only expected to be more coming. So the queue itself is a Wimbledon tradition in its own right. And some of the people here, they've been here since yesterday morning. They've been sleeping here overnight. Some of the most dedicated tennis fans have been waiting for over 12 hours, all for the chance to get some of the most sought-after tickets in British sport. And I've been speaking to some of them here today. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Layla.
Hi, I'm Jeremy.
Hi, both of you. And what time have you been here since this morning?
About 4 a.m.
Yep, 4 a.m.
Yep.
Oh, wow, that is amazing. And is this your first time?
It is, and we came all the way from the U.S. for Wimbledon.
Wow, so a big way. Okay, and who are you hoping to see today?
Anyone who is playing tennis is who I'm hoping to see today.
Yeah, it'd be great if we can find a way to center court, but we're happy to be here.
What is your ticket number?
3570.
Wow, okay, so you should be heading in fairly soon then. And what are your thoughts on Emma Raducanu dropping out of the Wimbledon tournament just last night?
You know, it's up to her what she needs to do.
Yeah, it would be great to see her, but there's plenty of good tennis to be had.
Okay, absolutely fabulous. And do you have any tips for being in the queue? What have you got here with you to tide you over?
Well, we brought some wine.
Most importantly.
And some chocolate. and some water. So we're well hydrated.
Wow, absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best in getting into the queue. Now, as you can see, the tennis doesn't start till later this morning, but the excitement here is already building. Thousands of strawberries are being prepared and the grass lawns are ready. And for thousands of tennis fans waiting patiently behind me, the countdown to another Wimbledon summer is almost over.
Sophia, I've got to say, wine, chocolate and water, that's the way I always just like to start my day. And as far as the queue's concerned, is it like a straight queue? I'm sort of like, it just looks like everybody's just milling around. Does everybody have to stay in the queue together? Or, look, there we are. Is that actually a windy queue? Because you're saying how many thousands there are. I think only 500 actually get into centre court. Isn't that correct?
That is correct, and there is a bit of a system to the queue, so I know it looks a little bit messy right here, but everyone does have a ticket. They're allowed to leave for about half an hour to go and get some food or go to the toilet, and then they have to rejoin the queue. And this one right here, they should be moving in about an hour's time. Some of the people who have been sleeping overnight here, they've already started moving their way in more towards the gates. So there is a system going on, and they are expecting a lot more people to be joining already, so that's why they've got to keep the queues moving along.
There's always a chance, isn't there, where you can pick up tickets later on that someone may hand over to you, so there may be a chance there. But when it comes to the queue, if you ain't there first thing in the morning when it's dark, then I don't think there's much chance you're getting in anywhere serious. So I'm afraid, Ellie and Stephen, you'll have to get up extra early tomorrow if you want to go.
Even earlier.
In right now, sorry.
All right, Paul, thank you, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Right, that's it from us, but Britain's Newsroom is here at 9:30 with Andrew and Miriam. Good morning, you two.
Good morning. Well, it looks like you guys have been having a good morning. I'm not sure what this is doing here.
Dawn Newsom, so we have to say.
Oh, right, yeah, blame it on Dawn.
If that was Dawn Newsom, the bottle would be empty.
Well, we've got lots coming up. Of course, Andrew's first show back since being on holiday.
Wow.
Quite a lot to catch up on, Andrew.
Yes,
You missed anything, Andrew?
And we are seeing our future Prime Minister speaking today, setting out his vision. And a big story today on immigration. Are they already watering down some of that that tough stuff?
Absolutely.
Feels like it to me.
Well, that's all coming up on Britain's Newsroom after your weather forecast.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. Lots of dry weather today, feeling warm, certainly not quite as humid as it did last week, and there will be some showers on the cards. These mostly in the northwest, particularly across western areas of Scotland, though any showers should become quite well scattered by the afternoon, so hopefully some bright, if not sunny spells in between. We can see across the bulk of the country it should be mostly dry, a mix of cloud and also some brighter spells. Mostly light winds as well, so where we do see any sunshine it should feel rather warm and pleasant, highs reaching around 23 to 24 degrees Celsius, but like I said, not quite as humid as the last few days. Now, to finish off the day across Scotland, there'll still be quite a decent amount of cloud around, still some lingering showers across the south, perhaps the best of the brightness across the very far north of Scotland. But notice behind me there is some rain on its way, some heavy, if not thundery showers initially across Northern Ireland, pushing their way northeastwards. But actually elsewhere, gradually turning a more unsettled overnight period. However, these heavy showers will continue to push their way northeastwards before longer spells of rain start to push into parts of the northwest. Now, this could be rather heavy at times, if not quite thundery, some quite blustery winds as well. Even to the south where we don't see any rain, there's going to be quite a lot of cloud around and potentially some showers. Still quite a mild night, temperatures not dropping much below 16 to 17 degrees Celsius in the southeast. But Tuesday itself does look like a rather unsettled day. Spells of rain continuing in the northwest, still heavy and thundery at times. Then we do have this band of heavy showers eventually pushing into northwest England, Wales and parts of the southwest as well. These too could also be heavy with the odd rumble of thunder. Brightness will be across central and south England, between 23 to 24 degrees Celsius.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Restrictions on the M8 eastbound between junctions 28 and 27 due to a broken down vehicle. Expect congestion on the M4 eastbound off-slip at junction 33 near Capel-Lenilton. The M62 westbound in Rochdale has one lane closed between junctions 19 and 18. Drivers on the A34 northbound in Oxfordshire face delays after an accident. On the M1 northbound exit slip at junction 21A in Leicestershire, all lanes remain closed due to a serious crash. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast has reduced services on various routes. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not